Welcome everybody to Ultimate Sensei Season 2. Yay! And with me right now is Kimmy Liu, the winner of Ultimate Sensei Season 1. Kimmy, welcome.
Hi, thank you. So glad to be back, not only on your channel, but just on Twitch in general.
Twitch in general, you've been on hiatus.
Yeah, I've been living under a rock. So honestly, I'm so glad he looped me back into the swing of things.
Nice. Well, you've got good internet under your rock because it only took you 2 seconds to answer the call to come be our special guest here on this first episode.
True. University internet is definitely very good.
Okay. All right. So you've been doing stuff other than chess and streaming recently. But here we go straight into the big show for us here on Chess Dojo. And we want to just tell everybody what this show is about. So you've been on the show. Can you tell people in 2 sentences what you think the point of Ultimate Sensei is?
I think the point of Ultimate Sensei really is to just demonstrate that the journey of chess improvement has its ups and downs, and it's very authentic in the way that it portrays the sensei and senpai dynamic. The grasshopper. I don't know. There's sensei, and then there's the student. But yeah, it's not all rainbows and unicorns. There's a lot of upsets, but I think that's just some of the beauty of improving at chess. So,
yeah. And I think one of the cool things is that the viewers are going to be able to watch all the lessons of any of the teams, right? So you yourself, when you were doing this, you had a rule that you couldn't watch the other students, right? So you had to, you had to just focus on your lessons with Max and work on getting the best you could without knowing what the other people were up to. Now, very often from that perspective, you forget that other people are, strong players as well, putting in a lot of effort as well, that they're really working. But our viewers are going to be able to follow the channels of all 4 of these great teachers and follow their lessons and sort of see that everybody's trying for it and see how, tough that competition is when your opponents are also striving to get better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really wish I was able to kind of see the other perspective. I understand, as a contestant, it wasn't going to be very fair.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because some of the coaches may be doing very specific preparation and if some coach is telling their student, here's this one mistake in Kimmy's opening repertoire. Well, I mean, and then you and I get to see it. We're okay, let's fix that. So, all right. So, okay, so today we're going to be forming teams. A team in Ultimate Sensei is made up of 1 teacher or coach or sensei and 2 students. So right now, everybody's just individual. They don't know where they're going to end up. But at the end of today, we will have our 4 teams of 12 people, 4 coaches, 8 students will be set. Let's look for a moment at the schedule and prizes for this event. Okay, so today we are at the opening draft. The finals are January 22nd and 21st or 23rd, something like that. Hopefully other people can see or read our graphics for the schedule and the prize money. But we've got the finals tournament is going to be a 2-day tournament, and that is about 9 weeks away. That's what's really going to determine, whose coaching worked, which students learned the most and improved the fastest is that event. Along the way, we've got 3 other intermediate competitions to make the show more fun and exciting along the way. And that's going to include a tactics challenge on December 4th. It's going to include an endgame challenge on December 18th. And then finally a blitz tournament on January 8th. And each of those 3 intermediate events is going to have a $600 prize pool. That's more than when you competed. Sorry about that.
No worries. I understand inflation is like crazy nowadays.
That's right. So it's doubled since Kimmy's season. That's because we've gotten donations from chess.com and from Chess Dojo viewers on top of the amount that the Chess Dojo itself is putting into this event every time. So thank you to chess.com. Thank you to all our viewers. And just a quick note that anybody donating during season 2 of Chess Dojo's Ultimate Sensei, during any of these shows, those donations will be put into the prize fund for Ultimate Sensei season 3. So anything you donate during this show or on the 4th or the 18th, etc., will go to that prize fund. And the bigger it gets, the more fun it is for the students and coaches, or the more stressful. Is that something that you would think about as a competitor, the prize fund? Did that matter to you at all last year?
Not gonna lie, I didn't realize there was a prize fund last time I competed. I was really there just for the improvement, but of course, like reviewing the promotional banners for Chess Dojo, I was like, oh, there's some numbers on it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I think for a lot of the students, although we've got like a decent prize fund, I think 9 weeks of free lessons with a top quality coach are often going to be worth more than the prize money that they can win. But nevertheless, we have boosted up the prize money here, and at least for the coaches who are professionals, that should be nice to have some more money that the team can win along the way. And let's see the format for today. Let's talk the format for today's tournament. It's the same as last year for you.
Yeah. So I don't know if you want me to expose like the special events, because apparently like it's not listed specifically, but
yeah.
Okay, so you want me to expose the special events?
Well, they're actually going to be changed a little bit from last year, but the format for today's draft tournament is going to be the same as the draft tournament you played last year, almost.
Oh, yeah. For the draft tournament, wasn't it just like a blitz tournament on live chess, and just basically like based on your performance, your coaches would choose you?
Yes.
Yes.
So it's a 4-round tournament, time control, 15 minutes plus 5-second increment. The coaches are going to watch, and then they're going to choose their players. So right now we've got 2 extra players in the tournament. So we're going to have to try and boot them out or kick them out somehow. But in any case, the plan is for 12 players to play in this tournament, and the coaches are going to pick 8 of them. So that's the difference from last year. Mm-hmm. Last year, when you played this tournament, there were 8 players, and you knew that you were going to be on Ultimate Sensei when you played the tournament. My suspicion is that this ratchets up the pressure on the students a lot today, and we'll see some choking and some nerves. But what would be your take on that?
Well, personally, my coping mechanism would be joking, so I'm not sure like if they would be more nervous or just kind of destruct in terms of like a joking way. But either way, I think that it's just a lot more pressure because there is a chance that you won't be able to play. But to my understanding, like just because you place in the top 8 doesn't guarantee that you're going to be on the show, right? Because the coaches still choose.
Yeah, the senseis may see something fantastic in the player who finishes in 12th, right? Mm-hmm. And that may be who they draft. But playing well is more likely to get you drafted than completely choking.
Yeah.
How do you think the competitors are feeling going into this tournament right now? Or how did you feel a year ago when you were going into this tournament?
When I went into this tournament, I really didn't feel a lot of initial pressure. Because I knew the whole point was just to improve. So no matter what, there's like always something to gain. As for this year, I think, as I mentioned before, just the whole concept of maybe not even getting to participate, that's going to be a bit nerve-wracking. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any advice for the players who hopefully can't hear your advice anymore?
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, my advice would be shouted out there into the void. But for the viewers watching, maybe you can wait, can the viewers pass along advice or no?
At this point, the tournament's starting in 5 minutes. I think you can give out any secrets you want.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, some of the players might still be watching the stream, so yeah, they'll hear your advice. Whatever, it's okay.
Okay. Well, players, my biggest advice would just to be like focus on playing the best moves, like one step at a time, because it's definitely overwhelming to try to just shoot for a win right off the bat. And
okay,
yeah, and my advice for viewers, like bonus, just don't be too critical of the players, because there's a lot of pressure. I understand like a lot of the players are also streaming on their own channel, so that's a separate distraction that they need to learn how to manage as well. So please be understanding.
Right. Yeah. I mean, to try and play serious competition while streaming is an extra step in terms of intensity. And some of these players may have a lot of experience playing chess and they may have a lot of experience streaming, but this may, like, putting it together and adding some like pressure or prize money or desire to perform might do a weird thing for them. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's see, what else do we need to cover before the players get set to play? Let's see. Oh,
chat has any questions.
What's that?
Oh, if like the chat has any like pressing questions
about the event.
Yeah,
hopefully chat is excited, and there's so much going on right now that I haven't been reading everything in chat. But hopefully they're excited and they understand what's happening and what the stakes are here. I was going to ask you, Kimmy, do you think it's important to try and get drafted like high up, or might it be an advantage to try and get drafted in the middle of the pack so that you get like a really strong partner on your team? Would there be any strategy there, or you just play the best move one at a time?
Wow, this is like way more complicated than I would have imagined. But I guess in terms of drafting, man, I don't have any experience. Like, I don't do fantasy football or anything, but
right.
I feel like everyone should just try their best. And sometimes the drafting's out of your control, because you could, score the first place in the tournament. You don't get picked first. So I think it's a pretty random, but I just want to say, like, no matter which partner you have, they're going to be amazing as long as you guys work together. And shout out to Max in the chat. So a very awesome partner. We had a lot of great training positions in games. So I couldn't have done it without him. And he's actually thriving right now. So I'm really proud of him.
That's right. Max, super performer in the first season of Ultimate Sensei. And showed really great improvement over the course of the 6 weeks. The first season was only 6 weeks. And from the draft tournament until the finals tournament, he showed some of the best improvement of any of the people in that. And after Ultimate Sensei was over, he continued improving. He's played more OTB tournaments in the past year, perhaps, than anyone else from Ultimate Sensei. And his OTB rating has increased a ton. So yeah, I mean, we can already look past the draft and say, what's the strategy for the whole season? Or we could look past the season and say, how can you use Ultimate Sensei as a stepping stone to improve your whole chess career? But for that question, I think we would go to Max, because he's the one who's really been like pushing it in a lot of tournaments. And I think he's at an OTB tournament this weekend, even though I see him in chat right now.
Wow. Hopefully he's not in the middle of a game, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much for joining us, Kimmy. It would be fun to bring you and Max on together at some point as special guests further on in this season. But it's great to see you again, and I hope we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and best of luck to all the coaches and all the students.
All right. So now we will bring into the show our 4 of our contestants, the senseis, who are going to vie for being the second Ultimate Sensei here in our competitions. So we're going to be bringing in 4 great chess coaches. And you can see them from top to bottom over there. Kostya Kavutsky, Andras Toth, Alexandra Oblentseva, and Mateusz Kolozowski. Welcome, welcome, welcome to all our senseis.
Hi, guys.
Thanks for being here.
Hey.
Hello, hello.
Yes. Okay, hi.
I hope you're all ready. And, if you've got some nerves, it's okay because you don't have to move the pieces right away. But this draft could be a little bit intense for some of you as well, as you're going to have a very limited amount of time to scout out a whole bunch of players. Are you feeling ready right now, Andras?
Oh yeah, completely. I'm already tuned in, zoned in. Yeah, ready to rock and roll.
Nice. Any coach or sensei feeling any kind of pressure, even though you're not playing?
No.
Nothing.
All right. By the way, David, just to be clear on this one, I wanted to clarify this, but now I will be on an air with this. Do I need to clarify if I coached previously any of the applicants?
You don't need to tell us, but you can tell us. There's no rule
Have you coached all of them? Do you know all of them?
No. I coached one of them. So I coached Morphy Fan before.
Okay. So that's one player whose games you don't need to watch today.
Well,
you can share some insight, No,
I'm keeping the secrets, guys. I have a special drafting book. Don't you read NBA Legends about how they draft? Come on, man. We are frenemies at best now.
Fair enough. Okay.
No secret shed.
All right. So you guys are all ready. You all have a lot of experience as competitors, but have you ever put your coaching on the line? Like, have you ever had anybody measure how good a coach you are? I'll go to you for that question, Matt.
Not in this kind of a format. I felt, that in case of very ambitious chess players, they often have very ambitious goals. That, for example, they want to make this very specific rating progress until the end of the year, and you feel every day passing, and you're just not sure if you're going to accomplish the goal. So I know this kind of a pressure, but I'm not sure if I just don't know what to expect. I've never had I would have to bet my entire coaching career on anyone's success. No,
right,
never anything like that.
Yeah, and there are definitely students who come in like that. You get like a message from new students sometimes, and they're like, "I think I could make GM in 6 months. I want to be like the fastest grandmaster ever." And you're like, "Well, I'm only an IM. What do you? I've been going at this for 20 years."
Yeah, not judging anyone, but recently I've had this student who he was, at the moment we started, he was 1,000 approximately on chess.com. Whenever I'm starting any kind of a cooperation, I'm always starting with an interview. So what are your goals? How much time you want to dedicate to chess? How much you have been working so far, etc. And the goal was I may be wrong right now, but it was approximately 600 rating points in 2 months, and grandmaster ultimately starting at the age of 20. Yeah. I mean, of course, you can practice hard, but you also need to be kind of realistic and maybe take it step by step and see how it goes. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to ask Alexandra a question on that. Like, what would be a realistic goal? So let's say, Alexandra, that you get a student today who is about 1,500 strength, and you've got 9 weeks to work with them. What would be like a possible improvement?
I don't know. It depends on the student, I think. Because some people have like bigger progress recently, and some of them they have maybe bigger rating, but they didn't have any progress for few months maybe. And probably it's even better sometimes to get someone with smaller rating, but who's ready for some improvement.
For some more bursts, yeah. Yeah. Another thing I looked for last season was sometimes like a player who's been stuck at a plateau, but I can see what's holding them back. Like sometimes there's just one little thing you need to pull out of the way and they can start moving again. But would you give any kind of guess? Let's say you get a student who's perfectly primed for improving.
I don't know.
What would be like a maximum improvement in 9 weeks?
Max improvement. I don't know, like 200 points maybe.
Okay. Kostya, you think that that's realistic?
Like
That
if that's
a
like
lot.
best situation.
Best case 200?
I don't know.
I think it is possible to go up like 200 points in strength, but you need like a perfect storm, just like working all the time,
Mhm.
or super motivated. But I mean, I think it is actually possible, especially at this level, like where improvement is, I think, a little bit quicker.
Yeah. All right. So I'm getting into games here. We're going to start clicking through these games a little bit and watch them a little bit. You guys, as I said, the coaches are free to go off and click on any other games. Like if I'm looking at a game here between Gustavo Luca and Clark, and Alexandra really thinks she wants to watch Simon MTL, you can go do that. You can ignore my questions if you're busy scouting. But every now and then I'll be asking you all some more questions, and you can chime in if you want to. So what kind of opening do we have here from Gustavo Luca? Is it a dragon or an accelerated dragon?
I think it's a regular one.
It was a regular one with an early A6. I've heard it called the Dragadorf.
Dragadorf.
And there they are. Normal position so far, but no Yugoslav attack. Anybody here want a student who plays the Yugoslav attack instead of this?
We only want students who play the Yugoslav attack.
All right. Clark's out. Let's check on Drittman. He plays pretty aggressively as white, usually. So he's playing the fantasy variation. Matt, how do you feel about the fantasy variation?
Yeah, sorry, I was just checking.
That's fine.
Jumping from one game to another.
know.
I'm trying to get them kind of an edge already. So
go for it. I'll ask Alexandra.
Fantasy variation. Yeah, I was coming back and forth with F3. I mean, I have mixed feelings. I've never played it, and I never recommend people to play it. Honestly, I've always preferred the classical approach, so knight c3, or my recent pick is just e5 and go for the. I don't even remember the name of the line, but quick h4, bishop d3, bishop g5, and just give checkmate, sacrifice all of your rooks and deliver checkmate. So that's pretty simple.
Fittingly, it's called a Tal variation.
It's possible. Yeah, I think it's maybe Tal.
Yeah. So when you see something like openings that you either don't recommend or that you don't like so much, would that be a reason for you to maybe not be as interested in that student?
I mean, it shouldn't be the decisive factor, I guess, because if overall I like the student, I like the style, why not? I think it will be much easier for me to adjust and even learn a couple of lines within overnight, and just even support people playing lines like that instead of changing one's entire career for the sake of the show. I mean, it's totally unrealistic, I think.
Yeah. Well, Drittman definitely got a great position out of it for the moment, right?
Totally agreed. Yeah.
Worked out.
I guess the element of the surprise, I guess, also.
Yeah. The element of the surprise will help him here, but probably not by the time of the finals. Like, even though your lessons will all be private, like you can't watch each other's lessons, right? So you can't check out what opening Andras is like teaching one of his students or anything like that. But still, they're going to be playing against each other for several weeks. There's going to be a blitz tournament. There's this draft tournament. So by the time we get to the finals in January, there wouldn't be a surprise element on the fantasy variation anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. Seth versus Falk. Exchanged Queen's Gambit.
Solid world championship openings here.
World championship openings. Yeah. And I'm going to try not to ask you guys like questions that are too revelatory of your strategy in front of each other. So I'm going to try and like keep it polite and reasonable. But if I ask a question,
I like Falk.
You like him. Okay.
Yes,
if I ask a question you don't like, you can just not answer it. So just to be clear, like I say, like, are you looking for a student who plays the Queen's Gambit? You can say like, that's a secret. All right. So Falk's played everything classically so far. Is it this A5 move that stands out to you, Matt?
Yeah, exactly. Because A5 is the best approach to minority attack. It's a very good, very sound prophylactic move. So if you already at this point you recognize that that B4 may be potentially one of White's key ideas, and you just play A5 intentionally, it means that you either know the opening or you have a good strategic foundation, in my opinion. So yeah. I think it shows that he reads about chess, because people don't play Queen's Gambit Decline that often anymore.
Yeah. And if you look at it from a stereotypical angle, you'd think like White's plays on the queen side, Black's plays on the king side. So you wouldn't look at a queen side move unless you know specifically this move slows White down more than it hurts Black.
Precisely.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Good spot. Good spot. So Falk is impressing at the start, and we've got two players playing much faster than the others, I think, over here with Blue Jay Chess against Chris Bredanis, just because they're much further into this game and the tactics. And is one of them already up a rook? Seems like a full extra rook for Blue Jay Chess. Might be interesting to know how that happened. Okay. Out of the opening, White's already got an extra piece here.
Yeah, the bishop got trapped, surprisingly.
A bishop was trapped unsurprisingly. Let's see, here. Castling. Oh!
Yeah.
That's not a careful move from Black. And I can tell you all, for anyone who's watching this, 3 seconds on castles for Black here. So definitely a careless moment there. That cost a piece. And Rook C1, that was a strong move from Blue Jay Chess. Wow. Cleaning up. So that's a good start for Blue Jay Chess. I think Blue Jay Chess has the highest chess.com rapid rating here. But if you were to scout the players just by rating, it's kind of a confusing mix of like, some of them are in this section based on their OTB FIDE ratings, some of them based on a chess.com rapid rating, some of them based on a lead chess rapid rating, some of them based on a national rating. There may even be some players from England whose ratings make no sense to anybody. So the rating may tell you something. Andras, is that something that you'd be doing as part of your scouting, is looking at what the players' ratings are?
Sorry, not ready to reveal secrets. No, I'm kidding. Okay. No, totally kidding. No, not really. Look, the field seems to be very evenly matched. So, yeah. But then again, see, there is not really one thing in particular that, in my opinion, you can single out, because this is just a snapshot of how they play, and we will see tactical blunders that may or may not be a typical issue of their chess. So it's a tough one. I'm already taking notes. Let's just go with that.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. I had a spreadsheet last year, and I made little profiles on all the players.
Oh my God. Wow. Yeah. That's next level dedication.
While watching. So
can I hire you as a second in charge?
Second in charge. Well, I have to be very objective this season because I am the commissioner. So, I'm not going to give any favoritism to Kostya or even to that cute penguin that Alexandra has. It's just going to be.
That is fair enough. But I already mentioned the keyword bribe, right? So we need to come back to this, David.
Yeah, that's true.
When we are not on air.
Yeah, of course. We'll try it again when the other coaches aren't listening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not that everyone had the same idea before you, Andras.
All right. We'll do a silent auction.
Like a month ago.
Bugger.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So, Chris is sitting here stewing in his negative rook. Let's go check Lula Robs against Nargave, who we have not yet shown to the spectators here on Chess Dojo watching live. We've got another thing that looks like a Queen's Gambit exchange. And how does Lula's approach compare to Falk's for classiness?
I will leave it to Matt. He's the chess expert here.
That's a good one. I mean, on one hand, white didn't play optimal because I think with the central attack you need to have the queen on d2, but on the other, you shouldn't really mix h6 and knight f8, because if you want to transfer the knight from d7 to f8 and then go knight g6, the pawn belongs on h7.
Suddenly the queen's good on c2 since black played h6, knight f8.
Yeah, that's another point. I mean, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Not sure. Well, one thing that black did was as soon as white played f3, preparing e4, as soon as white played f3, instant response c5. Well, she spent a minute, but it was her very next move. So
which is again a typical pawn break in this kind of pawn formation.
So that's important. And she had played c6 before, so I'm sure she wasn't just going to play c5 no matter what. It was clearly a reaction. So yeah, seems reasonable.
We'll see how the game goes, right?
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes, how they handle these middle games.
Yeah. It's way too early to say anything.
Yeah. But so far quite reasonable from both players, nothing amateur here. Well, I guess we're all amateurs. I mean, I guess they're all amateurs, but nothing that would be recognizably amateur yet. Now, I'm switching to Gustavo against Clark, back to our Dragon Sicilian. I will note that Clark is playing this tournament from a phone while traveling through an airport. So just so all the coaches have that same piece of information. And so you can say like, oh, at this point, security confiscated his phone from him. So that's why he lost 2 minutes on an obvious move. But anyway, just to be fair to Clark,
that alone warrants a prize for him, right? For being the ballsiest of all.
Yeah, he's definitely and committed. He wasn't willing to miss this.
I like this dude already. Note taken in my secret draft book.
Yeah. So
I think you're just bluffing right now.
So let's see how this started. So Clark changed the direction of the game with this knight takes e7. What happened? Knight c6. Oh man, was knight g4 just losing a piece?
Mm-hmm.
More or less just losing a piece, yeah. And so now he chooses to go for it instead of bringing the knight backwards. How do you feel about that? He's already up a piece. He could play knight d4, knight b4, but he goes for it. Any coach have a comment on knight takes e7?
Yeah, I drafted him already, so don't bother the rest of you. Sorry.
That's right. You'll coach him from an airport. You guys can get American Airlines or Delta to sponsor you and do all your lessons on airplanes. Knight takes e7.
It's a good sign of creativity, but I'm not sure if it's the kind of a move you want to make if you're really looking into proper conversion of the material advantage, because you're going for some kind of board excitement, which is totally unnecessary right now.
Right.
You'd rather just simplify, liquidate those keywords, right?
Yeah. So white's up an entire piece here. Let's say the average of these players is about 1,500. Kostya, do you expect a 1,500 player to be able to win a game up a piece 100% of the time, 90% of the time, 51% of the time?
Yeah, if it's like a clean piece, I would expect against a similar player, maybe around like 90%, I think would be pretty solid. If it's
or
like
coin flip.
If it's most than that, 50%. I think if it's more than that, that's good, like solid player. If it's less than 90%, it's like, okay, got to work on the technique a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Then you might want some less of these wild moves like knight takes e7, right? If your conversion rate is like 80%, maybe you need to calm down a little bit with your extra piece.
Yeah. So I don't hate knight takes e7. I'm still, I think it's okay, but it might be indicative of a different problem.
Right.
You could have just moved the piece back, right? And everything is defended, but
yeah, okay. The question is, does knight e7 work? Does it increase or decrease your advantage compared to just retreating your extra piece? And does it increase or decrease the chances that you mess something up? Like, what are the chances that Drew calculated this exact position? Which right now it looks like something really bad's about to happen to black.
Right now it looks wonderful. Yeah.
But did he calculate this like accurately? Were there any variations he left out? You know, what was the chance
Absolutely.
that something went wrong?
100%, no chance. Everything was calculated.
Yeah. Well, anyway, irrelevant. Andras is planning to get the first pick and grab Clark here with the knight takes e7 from the airport. I'm just going to click through all the games for a second and just see where there might be something dramatic. That looks kind of dramatic. White maybe winning a pawn there. Click, click, click. Whoa. Drittman's really good position looks less clear. Okay, too much happening in every board. So I'm going to take us to Simon against Bob Joe Jim. This was a Scotch game. I'll back up a few moves so people can get a sense of where it came from, with a d4 and then white just sort of like waiting about taking it back or not. And bishop e7, an unnecessary looking trade from white. And white has some trouble getting back the pawn on the dark square. G6, bishop f4. What? Okay, we were here at a dramatic moment. White has just played queen f8.
I think Simon's just watching too much television.
Too much TV?
Yeah.
Like chess TV or TV?
No, just some shows.
Some shows.
Yeah. Fantasy movies. I don't know. It's just or nerves.
Yeah, or nerves. Many of our viewers will notice that the queen could have retreated to h4 here. But even if it did, it's kind of suspicious, this pawn that he just never recaptured on d4. And then the bishop f6 trade helps black. Helps black develop and defend the pawn. That's just that's a dream for black that white make that trade.
It looks like he somewhere learned the line, like a couple of first moves for 3 or 4, and then started to come up over the board with a justification. So he knew that he needed to go for initiative, let's call it this way, and he was just trying to justify that over the board, which just backfired very quickly because he traded off some important pieces. Black neutralized the pressure, and that's it.
Yeah. I've found that at this level that you all are going to be coaching this season, you see a lot of people who want to play an aggressive move, play a move like bishop to g5, thinking like, I put my bishop really far, so it's aggressive, right? Like it's kind of in your face. But bishop g5 is really a move that tends towards making trades in a lot of cases and is actually not very aggressive. You end up just sort of trading off your bishop, and then why did you do it? So anyway, so that is that game. And with black up a queen for a rook, it'll take a real surprise for us to tune back into this round 1 game. Let's take us over to Drittman and Velcro Dot. So Velcro Dot, Katrina, started off with Drittman getting the advantage out of his surprise opening. But right here, she won a pawn and got well back into the game. Let's see. So he was trying to defend e4. I suppose he could have maybe played bishop f4 here instead of the unfortunate retreat. Yeah. There's probably a few moves that could be played.
Maybe bishop g5 as well.
Bishop g5 and bishop f4 come to mind. So knight f3 wasn't really forced. I understand he probably didn't want her to trade on e5, but he had room for some choices here, and the time on this move was 2 minutes on knight f3. So he took this moment seriously and came up with a seriously wrong solution. And let's see how well she took this moment. She's got knight g3 check. So he's got to take the knight on e4.
Yikes.
Oh, and then this came too. Uh-oh. This is probably depression from white right here. Like you've lost a pawn and you've lost your center and you don't really know what you want to do with the game anymore.
So you think this was intentional?
No. I think it's just sort of like
Whatever?
Like, sort of like you're depressed, you don't really know what to do, and then you make a mistake. Because you don't really have any ideas. He probably felt a little bit of like desperation, like he wants to do something towards the king side. But just really didn't see that. Katrina's playing this very well. Ever since she got out of the opening.
Yeah.
All right, Seth and Falk. Queen b3, queen b6. Very famous recipe for a queen trade. Falk's searching for trades. So we'll have to see if Falk's good at endgames. That would be important for someone who wants to trade pieces.
Well, it looks like most of those trades were justified, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here. Did you want me?
Whenever you want, you can join us. Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw this message in Zoom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was a message in Zoom. We were just talking about Falk and how Falk was trading lots of pieces.
Yeah, I was listening to you. Yeah, that's some Grandmaster game.
Yeah. It looks like a Grandmaster game to you, pretty much?
Yeah.
Okay.
I play like this.
You would play like this? Great.
Best feedback ever, actually, from a coach, right? I would play like this.
Yeah.
Now, if they just offer and agree a draw right here, that would be really impressive. I feel like these guys going far.
Yeah. How would you feel about a player who offers a bunch of draws in this tournament, Kostya? Would that be a good or a bad sign to you?
No, that would be not a great sign. I mean, unless it's like a dead draw in position, I think, yeah, offering a draw is just kind of a sign of uncertainty, a sign of lack of confidence, which is kind of, it's not like a red flag, but it would be something to work on.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Okay. Fair enough. So the next most exciting developments, I think, are in the game between Nargath and Lula. Rob, so that's what I'm going to switch to, and I'm going to check out what happened with the capture on d5. Oh, so Lula took on c5 with the bishop instead of the hanging pawns. So flexible thinking between, static and dynamic considerations here. And I guess Nargath didn't really have a way to defend this pawn. So Nargath threw knight takes d5 at her. Jeez. That's intense. Did they calculate this correctly?
Yeah, probably.
I think so.
That was definitely planned.
Lula had 95 here, but that's way too much. So
now what surprised me was the next move, because Lula played here after 95.
Yeah, 93. So, but it's
yeah, because then 97 happened, and then I don't get why we're not taking on f6 here, or even after bishop e4 he had. Yeah, like why don't we take f6 here? Knight f6.
White's whole idea was to do something like this, right?
Yeah, and bishop h7, and he didn't do it.
Yeah,
like he didn't take on f6. But sorry, Alexander was correct, by the way. That queen sack was beautiful. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take her glory there. So you should go back to that, David, because that was amazing.
All right, we'll go back to that. So, the reason I was asking you all if knight takes d5 was soundly calculated by Nargath is because actually knight d5 doesn't work. I think Black has two different refutations to it. They can take it with the knight or the queen. Would be the key, the key variations to calculate usually.
Anything.
Yeah. So, so if you take with the knight, this is beautiful. After bishop takes, knight takes e3 with the bishop lined up with the king and 3 pieces attacked by the knight. Black collects all kinds of material. Best thing white can do is like run away with the queen, give up a rook, and then the bishop after the knight bounces back and attacks the rook. But similarly, queen takes d5 leaves black with sort of a similar material advantage, right? Check, takes. Yeah, this is not a position white wants. No, not at all. So then, and you know, this may be a secret, coaches, but you may have to say what you think of a move like knight takes d5, which is clearly miscalculated, but Nargeth was going to lose this pawn on e3 no matter what, and at least used creativity to try and change the course of the game versus, let's say, an option like bishop f2 or king h1. So I don't know. Coach, did you like seeing a move like knight d5, or is that more concerning than inspiring?
I mean, I think it was a very decent idea. Actually, I quite like that he played d takes c5, which I think is a move that a lot of d4 players don't like to make, but it is important to make it when you kind of have like tactics or pressure against like the d5 pawn. So yeah, maybe it wasn't perfectly calculated, but I mean, it's kind of hard to sack the queen at this level. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so let's see how they're getting on. Knight d7 was played, as mentioned by Andras. Now, you know, if white's plan was to do something with the d file, now you got this pawn for free. You can just take on f6 and go crazy. But let's see where they're at, because they're playing some tactical stuff. We got a rook hanging, a bishop gets captured, e3's hanging the whole time, bishop comes back, check here. King goes to the dark squares where he'll be safer than the light squares. Bishop c6, queen e6, knight d4, takes here.
Breaking news, guys. Seth blundered the rook. In fact, he just hung his rook.
Ooh.
That's
In a simple
end
endgame.
To the Grandmaster game that we were observing there.
Rook here. Bishop c2 fighting for detention on the a file. Ooh.
Yeah, in a very unique way.
Yeah. Well, the strategy is there. The a file was worth fighting for. But he didn't win it like that.
That was an oh no, my rook, for real.
Yeah. And the two other players who are up massive amounts of material have won their games. So Blue Jay Chess won. Doesn't look like there were any hiccups along the way. Extra rook throughout the end game. And Bob Joe Jim won the game. Just trading a bishop, trading a rook, bringing a pawn down. Yeah. I don't think there was any particular hiccups in their conversions. But speaking of people with potential hiccups in conversions, let's see how Clark's doing with his wild knight takes e7 game. Somehow led to a king and pawn endgame, which he's somehow winning. All right. This looks like a little bit of a squeak for a position where he was up a piece. Let me just... Resignation comes in because one of these pawns is going to queen. The king can't cover both. But let me just double check his work, you know? Let's just double check his work.
It definitely looked like a guy who played from an airport to a mobile phone. Let's just go with that, David.
You can see it. All right, so check comes in this position. Bishop c5 check could be considered more precise, perhaps. But this happens. Queen e3 is a nice try from Gustavo. We get 2 pieces against 2 rooks. White saves the pawn, not the rook. Yeah, it's looking a little bit like airport chess. Uh-oh, check. Yeah, that was closer than it should have been. I'm going to guess that Matt is not a fan of the certainty of that conversion process.
Unlike everybody else, right?
Wait, what happened here?
Clark eventually won the game, but I just I feel like it was a little bit rougher than what you would have looked for.
Was it the game of where the knight e7 came?
It was the knight e7 game, yeah. Yeah. It included this moment at move 21 where he played queen takes h8 instead of bishop c5 check. His opponent spotted queen e3.
Whoops.
Making things a little bit harder for him. And then after that, he saved the b2 pawn, but not the rook on e3.
Yeah, it's still
Right.
winning, but okay.
Right. He could have
He's
played something like
he's-
c3. It's still winning, but it has that feeling of like Matt doesn't approve.
That's true, but it's a really bad streak of moves. I mean, everything that could have gone wrong, it went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Every move after move after move. And then how do you react to that? I mean, when you play a game, you see that you had a completely winning position and your material advantage decreases with every single move you make. I mean, that's psychologically difficult, right?
Yeah.
But he still managed, so
yeah, he still managed. Got the point.
You don't
He
judge the
won.
winners.
He won Andras's heart, but not yet Matt's. We'll switch over to the last game still going. Drittman against Velcro Dot. And Drittman is still down a piece, but has stopped losing more material.
Yeah,
Do
probably
like
not many chances for Drittman here.
Yeah, not many chances. Let's just have a look at all her moves because we've got the time to do it. Let's see what her conversion is like. Queen comes in and eats a couple pawns. Do you need more pawns when you're up a knight?
No, but why not? Yeah, White has no threats.
Why not? White's threatening nothing. You got nothing better to do than eat all their pawns? Sure, why not? All right. So she eats all the pawns, stops counterplay, goes for a trade. I feel like a lot of people would go after the d4 pawn, but she takes this rook off the board and brings her queen in. I approve. Clean enough. Clean enough. I would prefer her not allowing this d5 move, maybe, but so far very good. Much calmer than Nordovic's take on what to do when you're up a piece. Yeah. Feels methodical. All right, g4 comes in. 20 seconds for Drittman. 40 seconds for Katrina. Knight to h4. I don't know if she sees queen g3 or not, if she's lining up to make it even better. But we'll find out in a few seconds. g5. Yeah, she'd seen it. Now you get your first chance to evaluate how these players are under some time pressure. The final competition of Ultimate Sensei will feature the same 5-second increment that we see in the draft tournament today. We'll have a Blitz tournament in January before that, but yeah, this is the most important time control. So how they play with 5 seconds per move is relatively important. The rook goes on an adventure. Gives White the A pawn as a pass pawn. King c3, that was kind of clever. Getting out of the way of rook g2. D pawn's going to go. Okay, Dritt finds the way to save the pawn for one more move. I feel like he hasn't given up despite being down a piece. What's your sense, Andras?
Neither should he. I don't like the conversion from Velcro Drot. H-pawn should have gone about 10 moves ago.
Mm-hmm.
But again, obviously they are under pressure, and it's quite commonplace to see lower level players to be obsessing with cleaning the board off before they set about winning the game, which is something I don't really like or approve of, but that's why we are here.
Now the A pawn becomes surprisingly quick, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know who's favored anymore here. I mean, it could be.
I mean,
very
you
risky
play
for the knight.
That's true, but on the other hand, you play what? Knights.
No, 96, 98 is a clean win here.
97, 90, or
and then the H pawn runs.
Yeah, this H. I mean, if you don't touch the H pawn, you will not eventually win this. But there it is. She found her H pawn, and knight C8.
Yeah, and just H pawn, H pawn, H pawn. But it got a lot closer than it should have been.
Yeah, but if she touches the knight, it might get tricky. She didn't.
Yeah, if she tries to save her knight when he attacks it.
Yeah, that's the first unnecessary move.
But it's still on time.
Oh, plenty. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. I think she's got this one, but that was a little risky. Yeah, letting that A pawn go for a while. Scary.
Still, it's nice to start with a win with black, especially if you're the underdog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice win.
Yeah. Okay, so all the players should be getting ready for round 2 now. Those of them who've won in the first round would have no excuse to be nervous now. They should get the nerves out of their system with a win and just play normally from here. And those who've lost will probably remain nervous.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we know which way this one's going to go. So I'll ask you another random question. Would you rather have a player who's got a great position but runs out of time, or a player with a losing position who like comes through in the last couple seconds and gets a swindle?
Interesting question. You can't teach winning,
Mm-hmm. I mean, theoretically, that's why you guys are here, is because supposedly you guys can teach some winning, but good to know.
You didn't tell us about that. We were just supposed to give it the best try.
I think we can teach how to get like a good position, but you can't teach winning.
Okay.
But on the other hand, chess is a practical game, right? So who cares you got? It's the best excuse. I had a winning position. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you win or not. And if you're just running out of time, it's not an element of the game. So at some point, you need to speed up in order not to lose on time, because you need to take it into account. So you can't just let your opponent flag you, especially online.
Yeah.
Sure.
So let's say you've got a student and they come to you and they tell you, I had a winning position, but then I lost. What do you tell them? You don't even want to hear about that it was a winning position. I don't care.
Make a move. Just don't spoil your position. Make a waiting move. Just make a move. A sound decision can be, some decision-making process can be actually taught. You just find your worst place piece, or make a waiting move. Maybe find some, a way to improve your king's position in case of an end game or anything. Just slightly insert more pressure on your opponent. Use your opponent's time as well. These are some practical tips.
Yeah. All right. It's time to see what openings they all bring to the table. Oh, here's a mat opening from Falk 312. Yeah.
So Falk played a second game in a row in a game I play myself.
Yeah.
In an opening I play myself.
Yeah. So here it is. Quick bishop d3, just like you said. And Katrina's starting the tournament off with 2 Caro-Cons in a row, 2 black games in a row. If she gets through this one, she'll be sitting pretty for the second half of the tournament. Queen b6. That's good. Yeah.
We did an opening. What Falk is going to do, if he's going to protect the pawn, or if he's just going to go for some kind of initiative.
Yeah.
Knight d2, c4. It's interesting to see
I predict he
You
won't
won't do
defend
that?
the pawn.
Okay. He shouldn't. So
Yeah. I believe that he will bring out his knight. I believe.
Which incidentally is theory, right?
Yeah.
92.
Yeah. Still theory.
Yep.
would have guessed.
Yeah.
We'll see. Ooh, there is 92.
Yep. There it is. Now, who wants to bet that Velcro Dot plays Queen A6?
Every Caro-Kann expert, I guess.
Every Caro-Kann expert. But do you feel that she has the knowledge in class to play this move from what you saw last game?
Could be. I mean, my impression so far is that she plays very, very positionally, trying to get a very solid position and no excitement is probably not a good phrase for that, but she prefers solid over, chaos. So Queen A6 might be a kind of a move she would make, but I would actually expect, Knight F5 or Knight D7. These are moves that are much more natural. So unless you really you went through, some new developments in the openings, you will probably not play Queen A6, because Queen A6, I think it's just a very specific move in this kind of a line. You don't see that in other Caro-Kann variations. So
yeah, but like many Caro-Kann players, she's aware of like pawn structure and where are potential outposts. She knows where her knights are typically going to go. So she seems to have a lot of experience with the Caro-Kann, I would think. Okay, so white gets castled, black plays C5.
C4.
C4 has got to be played. So this is like a real test of Falk. He's pretty much got to play C4 here if he wants to really play this position as white.
Yeah.
If he plays something like C3, then
That's
Katrina
kind of a
will
soft
have
move.
a very easy game.
Yeah, but very typical move, C3. Very like superficial.
Yeah. But if you play C4, then it's not the stable position that Velcro Dot wants.
And he did play C4.
Nice.
All right.
So it shows pretty good decision making, I think. Like a good understanding of what the position requires you to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'll click through some more. We've got maybe a Nimzo Indian between Nargave and Blue Jay chess. Okay. F3 Nimzo. B6, I'm not familiar with. And then retreating. Well, this can't be correct by black. We're out of theory. I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that we're out of theory here. But looking at the clocks, Blue Jay chess has so much more time than Nargave.
It's the second game in a row because in the first one, Blue Jay also played very, very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And Nargave tends to be a time trouble issue. Like he is struggling with time usually. Sorry to cut you off there.
No, it's fine.
Oh, yeah. If you're going to share information about Mars.
Mixed things about that.
Yeah.
Dang it. I just gave you a chapter from my secret drafting book.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah. All right.
We're all nervous.
Yeah. It's
Don't
easy to make
worry
an
about
unforced
it.
error.
What a blunder.
Beginner's blunder, right?
Alexandra has the best strategy so far of the four coaches. She's like, I don't care about any of you guys.
Yeah.
I'm doing my research over here, chatting up my users.
I'm just afraid. I'm just afraid she's talking to her research team. Like
The whole
we're just alone in the whole team of researchers.
Right. Well, yeah, she's got like her Twitch chat to go out and do work for her, right? She's like, U10, go look through all the games of Bob Joe Jim. U10,
Exactly.
look through all the games of Clark DH. How often does he flag? What time controls does he prefer playing? Who's the best person he's
I
ever
want to
featured?
report now.
Yeah.
ASAP.
Yeah. So, okay, we've got a move from Bob Joe Jim here, Knight G5. I immediately disapprove of. Which of you is mad at him for this move? Would you even consider a player who moves the piece a second time like this?
Yeah, I don't like the move from a chess sense. I don't know how I feel about it because it is kind of in the spirit of the opening. He played this Joko piano. He's got this big center. I think he knows his position is good. It's probably not the right way to play it, but
on the other hand, what's wrong with it in this specific position?
That it moved the piece again.
Yeah, okay, but in chess, that for every rule there's at least a couple of exceptions. So if he calculated that, if he knows that in this concrete position you can play like that, why would you blame him? I think it just depends, right? If you talk to the student after the game, and you will be asking those questions, why did you play like that? And if he says, I knew that after knight g5, I'm forcing my opponent to play knight h6, which places the knight on the edge of the board, and then I'm getting a kind of an edge. Will you blame him for this logical kind of explanation?
At the level of this tournament and these players, he would definitely drop from my top couple picks, because d4 is the square that white needs to control in this opening. If you control d4 well, you can sort of shut out these black pieces on the queen side. And I think at the level of the players in this tournament, 1,500, some at like 1,600, it's dubious logic to think that you can neglect d4 to try and make your opponent play one developing move that might not be the best developing move. White might have to play knight f3 just right back anyway to defend this.
Yeah, I totally see your point, and of course you're right that from principle point of view you shouldn't play a move like that. But I think there is this kind of a situation where you would excuse your student for making a move like that if there's a specific line and he's actually able to prove it to you that he had everything under control.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, that is it's great that we all have our perspectives on this. That's one of the funs of this, is to see what different coaches think. If I had a player at this level who made this move, I would basically yell at them in the lesson for this move. Let's say they're already my student. It's not even a question of drafting somebody. If my student played a move like this, I'd be like, this has to stop. There's no sugarcoating it. We can't come to a compromise. Like, you're not allowed to play knight g5 when d4 is the key square in the position.
Okay, but regardless of that, would you? Because I'm just curious. Would you not be afraid that you would, like, to an
make
extent,
it too rigid?
Kill your student's creativity. Like, if he sees that there's a direct opportunity to punish the opponent for making some kind of a random move in the opening, and knight g5 would actually be the move.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be afraid that he's going to, not even consider such a move because he remembers that the coach said never make a second move in a row with the same piece?
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't say never do that, but I would say, I would say to my student, you need to have a sense of what's important in any given position, and let what's important be a signpost for what you're looking at, right? So you want to be aware. If you want to play a move like knight g5, it should be because you think your opponent made some mistake somewhere in the first few moves. Like, you have to have a reason to think that you can just capture on f7 early in a game. So I would want my student to explain what they think that black did that was so wrong. And yeah, I mean, you can move a piece a second time, but your opponent has to really give you the reason. You can't just do it because you like winning quickly. So that would be my concern there. All right. Good argument there. Gustavo against Lula. We've got another Caro player here in the tournament. Do any of you play the Caro Con? Alexandra, Kostya?
Nope.
Chess players here only.
Only with white.
Only chess players here.
Only with white play the Caro. Okay. Well, Gustavo's playing it classically. No fantasy variation here. Gets castled after the trade. Queen over here. Queen b6. Queen b6 should diffuse this queen b3 move, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think I think Lula looks pretty comfortable here as well.
By the way, I think you guys made some good points there in the last discussion. I think it's really important when someone is playing that, they have some kind of logical justification for why they're doing what they're doing. The opponent made some mistake, weakened something, so they go aggressive, or they're worse, so they're trying to trade pieces. I think that's a really big part to just developing a good understanding of the game in general. Now, how do we feel about, we got to go back to that game though with Bob, Joe, Jim. How do we feel about this last one?
That's what I was expecting. That's what I was expecting.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Oh no. Okay, so you're David, you could just yell an entire day.
Now I can yell at the student.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, I think I'm forcing knight g8 with a draw. Yeah. No, that's so what I expected. And the worst thing about it is 4 minutes and 40 seconds to play knight f3.
So he learned the lesson during the game then.
What's that?
He learned the lesson during the game. That maybe
he's already learned the lesson during the game.
It's too early. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the lesson, Kostya, in this case?
Well, it was too early to leave the center behind. I mean, I assume that's why he brought the knight back to f3 to defend d4.
But right. There was bishop e3, right?
He did have bishop e3. I just assumed he didn't like it. Maybe he was worried about some tactics on d4 or something. I'm not really sure. Like something knight d4, queen g5, maybe. I don't know. Really. Yeah.
There's also knight g4 attacking the bishop while doing this, allowing knight f7.
No, but then you're
craziness.
Okay.
Maybe something totally crazy.
But I was thinking earlier, like black can also castle, and then the next move might be knight g4.
Castle. Now you have to play like h3 or f3.
Yeah,
more moves you don't really want to play. But now taking on d4 is getting like way too good. Mm-hmm. If white spent a tempo on h3 or f3.
And then you may still get knight f7 or knight h7. A desperado knight.
Right. H3, black takes.
But these moves are not easy at all.
Yeah. And the whole thing just doesn't feel very logical for white. They're kind of scattered. So even if they're keeping the material equal, black's going to come out with more pieces developed at the end.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, and 4 minutes and 40 seconds to just retreat the knight dispels the idea that he'd calculated any specific reason why he played knight g5. All right, so here we go. Bishop g5, another one of those moves that looks aggressive, but I think often comes back to bite players of this level. Like the queen moves away, let's say to g6, and then you're like, oh, I don't really want my bishop on g5. We might see like play. Knight c3, knight takes d4 or something.
Can we take a look at Drittman?
Yeah, absolutely. Drittman playing against Seth, and it was a Queen's Indian defense. Actually, Drittman came on stream 2 nights ago and asked me, like, what should I do against the g3 lines of the Queen's Indian?
What did you say?
I told him, like, well, you could try playing bishop a6 and then quickly d5, fighting for control of the c4 square.
And just hope for the best, right?
Well, I was just giving him like a concept, right? Like you can say, like, I'll play c6, d5, so the g2 bishop's not too good. And at the same time, I'll play bishop a6 and fight against c4. And he said, oh, yeah, that sounds good. I'll give that a try.
Because I think we can continue our discussion about retreating the piece and playing it a couple of times in the same game. So if we go to move 10.
Yeah. Ah! Why?
Exactly. My impression.
My main recommendation, Tim, was to try out the bishop a6 lines, but I did mention that you could play bishop b7 and knight e4 as well, with the idea of trading one piece off for the opponent or sometimes playing f5.
So he just read the first part or heard or whatever that was.
But yeah, retreating e4. What he told me he didn't like was that sometimes he plays c5 in the Queen's Indian and then his opponent plays d5 and his position is bad. That's why he was asking me for advice. It's exactly what he just allowed.
Unlucky.
Kostya is very good at using the word unlucky. Okay. So
doesn't look good.
So luckily for him, his opponent played e5 instead of d5 here, which I think is a little bit less punishing of the black setup. Not that the knight on e8 is looking great.
I like e5 more, I think.
You
I
like
know.
e5 for white?
Yeah. It's like some d6 square, f6 square. It's more practical, I think.
Okay. To take some space from the black knights.
It feels logical.
Yeah, it's maybe not the best option, but it's actually like, it looks really, really cool. So.
Okay. I'm surprised the knight went to e8 instead of d7.
Because he was scared of d6 square.
No, I think he just predicted that he will need this Catalan maneuver, rook a7, rook d7 with a total equality.
Oh, rook a7 to d7, yeah. He did mention that to me, like at the end when I was telling him my idea about the queen's in, and he's like, yeah, but I could use this maneuver a6, rook a7 also. And I said, okay, well, that's beyond me. Okay, well, white's headed to d6. And rook a7 gets played. Right on, Matt. Right on.
I mean, I had this position before you, so I was just kind of cheating. So I knew what happened. Yeah, but if black manages to untangle like rook c7, knight c6, game goes on. Maybe f5 at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm wondering if white just knows how to exert even more pressure, more positional pressure, because this is what it's required. Like when you don't have clear tactics, how do you proceed from a position? Because it's much easier to find a tactical blow, right? Anyone could do that. If you're whether it's 1300 or 2300, it doesn't matter. For example, a nice maneuver for white would be to double up along the d file and transfer the bishop to d3. Bishop f1, bishop d3. I guess this could be interesting because the bishop is pretty much doing nothing on the long diagonal. So if you manage to find, let's call it two weaknesses, two areas of the board where you could put pressure, this might be a good practical idea.
Yeah.
But I like h4 as well,
which
was played.
Yeah, that's a famous move. It's a good move. Try and get black to make some kind of weakness on the king side. There's a funny idea, rook d3, and if black plays rook d7, then you play rook b3, since you can't win control of d7 right away.
But then queen d8.
Switch over there.
But then I play queen d8 and win the control over the b file. D file.
Yeah. I was planning queen a8 next. But
knight c7.
Knight c7, queen a7. I don't know. It's maybe terrible. Okay, h6. That's what I would expect from Drittman. I think that's the minimum weakness he could make here. Probably.
Now this maneuver, this bishop maneuver becomes even stronger because already he softened the pawn structure on the king side.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not this. Although he's playing for your idea, so
maybe
he's watching.
The other reason to play rook d3 is like on rook d7, rook d1, you might just want to recapture with your queen.
Oh, that's true.
To stop that. Could be one reason why he's doing this.
But I mean, black needs to do something. Whatever it is, something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a tough situation for Drittman at the moment. I'm going to click around some more. We'll see Gridanus and Simon in an opposite colored bishop ending out of a King's Indian defense.
I missed the fourth win on about move 8. Why
move 8?
Yep. When they traded queens, white is 97 check.
Knight e7 check?
Yeah, go. Just keep going.
No, not yet. Okay.
No, not here. Keep going. Sorry, I just gave you the rough estimate for move 8.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I got it.
Yeah, you got it now.
I think I found a good move. Yeah. Wow. Ouch.
Check the checks, as some coaches like to say.
Check the checks. Check the checks.
When there are loose pieces around.
Yeah.
Whoa, nice. Sorry.
Yeah.
Snagging the pawn.
Black did a pretty good job of, using the bishop pair to get back the pawn they'd lost.
The grandmaster draw, basically.
Basically, yeah.
The huge.
Interesting move from Dripman after some serious thought. Queen b7, challenging this diagonal. Whew, scary. I mean, it traps the rook and it gives the bishop something to do. Okay, not for Matt. Doesn't like that.
Well, no. I'm just following another game. Sorry.
Okay. Whoops. All right. Gustavo and Lula still solid. No mistakes from anybody. Bob Joe.
I think Lula is doing really well.
Yeah. Yeah, she's made no mistakes. And I didn't like Gustavo trading the queens. So I think as long as she makes no mistakes, this position may gradually trend in Black's favor a tiny bit.
How
Yeah,
did
you
Lula,
can't blunt the queen now, so it's pretty
You could
good.
what?
You can't blunt the queen after queen's exchange, so I think Lula has really good chances here.
Okay, that's good.
how did Lula lose the first game? Because I don't remember anymore.
Her first game was the game with knight takes d5 in the exchange, Queen's Gambit.
Right. Okay. So she lost it in the complications.
She came out down in exchange from those complications, and
Okay.
and Nargave converted it reasonably, I think, although we didn't see it all. Here's Nargave
She
again
just
taking
got
pawn on
scared, I
d5.
think.
What's that?
She just got scared because her opponent was like stronger and she believed like he's doing something right. So
Yeah. Yeah, some
And
belief.
by the way, guys, how do you persuade your students not to be afraid of stronger players? How do you make them believe themselves? Like, okay, well, the rating doesn't play. How do you make them believe in their own strength? Any particular ways of doing
I don't know.
that?
I usually just tell them to like, that's just a game. You shouldn't care so much. And then they go and they relax and they can win. So
Yeah, no, it really depends on the student for me. I think, different people need to be motivated in different ways, but yeah, I like to give my students a good confident boost. I just wait for them to play a good game. I'm like, see, you can do it. You can do it. Look at this. Great job.
What if you just wait?
Never happens, maybe they start convincing me to to their side.
Yeah. Well, here's one Caro-Kann that's not doing as well as the other one. You guys can see that Falk really knew what he was doing here. After c4, he trades on d5. He brings the knight to d6 quickly. Brings out the rooks. Traps the queen in the middle of the board. Queen a3 was pretty sneaky. And there we are.
Very good performance so far by Falk.
Yeah.
Solid with black.
Second game here.
And creative with white.
Mm-hmm.
That's how grandmasters play today.
Mm-hmm.
Draw with black and push with white.
Yeah.
Potential.
All right. I'm going to click on this one. Nargave against Blue Jay. So a pawn was just traded on d5, I guess. White was playing down a pawn for some time. Why? Because of e5, which white played themselves. That's an important point. On move 17, Nargave plays e5, just giving away the pawn. Wait. What was preventing queen takes b5? Something psychological. It'll be up
Black
to you
magic.
to puzzle it out. Okay, queen gets out of the way of checks. Rook e5 looks clever.
Queen e5 may have been even stronger.
Yeah, I like queen e5. Yeah.
Because like when you play rook e5 after queen c5, king h1, you don't really have knight f6, right? Because of the back rank issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So queen e5 could have been just a bit more precise, especially that if there is a queen d7, you can just capture queen f5, hoping for a nice fork, or queen anywhere, right?
Yeah, queen e5 looked very strong for white there.
Yeah. In these positions, it's often important to keep the rooks defended. Like you never know when a back rank tactic just comes out of somewhere and ruins your game.
So it's a matter of coordination, right?
Yeah. Especially with the rook on d8 already, this is worrisome. Okay, so queen c5 here. But the rook takes f5 tactic, probably what white had in mind, has now happened.
Jesus.
Queen c8, huh? Queen c8. Yeah, well, there are a lot of good moves for black instead of that.
Wait, but isn't this still okay for black? Couldn't he take the rook? What's happening?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought that was his whole point.
Good point. Queen e6.
And you know, Blue Jay still had like 5 minutes on the clock. That's more than enough time to, especially when he realizes that there is some tactical problem. It's more than enough time to calculate, even if there is
Right.
nothing. This is the last moment for you to change anything in the game, and he still keeps on playing fast. That's quite worrying, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, he spent 40 seconds on the move, but if his conclusion was, I'm just going to keep playing down a knight, then he should have spent 3 minutes instead of 40 seconds.
Exactly. The game is lost anyway if you're down a knight. It looks like he felt there is a more practical chance that if the opponent goes down on time rather than if he gets the equal position. Like time is more important than the position. That should never be the right conclusion.
Yeah. Okay, we've got a draw here in the Grandmaster game. GG's all around. Seth and Dritman. After queen b7, white allowed the queen trade.
Knight g5. Wow. Spectacular and wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You don't see that very often.
Okay. Seth playing very generally, but not calculating too much, and doesn't seem to be aware of the option of playing bishop h3 during this whole sequence.
Nah, that bishop is good. Right
where yes, as I said, generally speaking, he's put his pieces on really good squares, but I mean, I don't think he calculated bishop h3 on any of those moves. I guess he's reaping what he wants anyway.
Yeah. No, it looks like one of those games where, Karpov or someone just has like small advantage the whole time, except maybe he missed like multiple like wins along the way.
Karpov or someone.
Yeah.
No, this wasn't about missing. It was just from the beginning, he had a clear vision of how he's going to win the game.
Yeah.
He never wanted to win tactically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just following it through.
Torturing.
We've got another decisive result over here. Blue Jay chess used a little bit more time after rook e5. 2 minutes on queen f6.
Oh.
But after check, and white defended the back rank mate, that was the end of it. So Nargaev slips out of this game with less than a minute on the clock with a relatively easy conversion there. Falk against Velcro dot. Falk left themselves a few minutes, which was probably prudent. Dritman is super low on time. We've got Gustavo and Lula. Who calculated this correctly?
Oh boy.
Costa didn't.
Endgame was awful by Lola.
So we got to here. Rook's trade, F5, forcing the knight to D6, and then trading it. It looks very, very risky. And here you would be thinking like E5 or C5 to maybe keep the white king away from that pawn. And now I think Lula's not going to find any more moves here.
In the meantime, we have got another rook blunder for this round. It seems like a theme.
Yeah, in Clark's game, right?
Clark threw away a game.
Oh no. Airport chess.
Airport chess kicked in. Rook E2 was a little bit suspicious sacrifice.
It was a misclick?
Couldn't have been because there is no safe square around.
Ah!
Yikes.
Maybe he meant to blunder it on E1, but
Yes.
Oh,
dang. That could have been a really nice 2-0 for Clark.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll
Oh,
still
man.
count it as a win for him.
Chess.com is calling this the La Bourdonnais variation of the Gioco piano. So definitely that opening with knight G5, knight H6 was pretty old.
Is Clark planning to attend every single class and every single event from
On the airport, I was wondering.
He
Is
travels
this
a lot.
like a theme, or is it just like one, like, single time that this happened?
No, I think he's just flying today. It's just short notice. I think normally he is in good shape.
Normally he's at a train station.
Yeah, playing from his iPad.
All right. Yeah, in chat, Chessmate Geek, you were right that if black played E5 or C5 right after the piece trade, white could just queen the D pawn. So that's why the black king had to come over. In the game here between Seth and Drit, each still looking for their first win of the tournament. Dritman has got back the first pawn that he was down, but still looking like the A pawn's going to be a problem. Yeah. Tough position for black. Just one nice thing about how Seth played this is that there weren't really any good scenarios for Dritman that Seth was allowing.
There's some more drama in Clark's game.
What?
We can take a look at
With a piece?
Yeah.
With a
Yeah. A lot of drama.
Oh my God, what's happening here?
Bishop H5, King F8. Oh, King F8. Well, that's time to just play Rook takes D7 and save your bishop.
The airport comeback.
G4.
Last call.
I'm drafting this dude, guys. I'm drafting this dude.
Both.
Guys, you
If for
can't teach
nothing
winning,
else,
okay? You can't teach it.
Yeah, the dramatic effects that he's producing alone is remarkable.
That's right. Wow. Okay, so we've got a very interesting Rook endgame to watch on both boards. I wanted to see if Seth would be confident to play Rook B5 low on time, and he did. So that's cool. Rook A5. Should seal it. Pretty good Rook endgame by Seth there.
Yeah.
Pretty well done. I don't really see any mistakes in this thing. Running the A pawn looks correct.
The middle game was more interesting actually, because he just tried to play positionally the entire game, and it seemed like there was a good moment to sharpen things a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, the game that's undecided. whoever hangs their last rook is certain to lose this game. Certain to lose. That's a famous chess saying. Whoever hangs the last rook is sure to lose.
I think it's famously wrong too in this case. Lord knows what happens with the pawns.
Seth has won the game. First win for Seth. This is the last game still going. 8 seconds for Bob Joe Jim. Spent
So
2/3 of his time on this.
Bob could it's actually if any of those guys wins, joins the leaders, right?
Yep.
On 2 out of 2. Solid.
Positional B5.
That looked like
G6.
a ooh.
Nasty move.
Bob is pressing.
Yeah.
Rook
This looks
F7.
problematic now. Rook F7, Rook C7. Pawn in.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, black's probably out of counterplay unless white manufactures some for black at this point.
That happens sometimes. Yeah, there's no threats, and then white plays like c4.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
So let me ask you, Andras, have you taught many players in this range before, between like 14 to 1600-ish?
Yeah, I would say a fair few. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kostya, I know you have. Matt, have you taught students in this range before?
Yeah, a few.
Yeah.
The problem for me, David, is that they quickly shot up to 2200 within a space of 1 to 2 weeks. So
Right.
I can't remember what it's like anymore because it's just how things naturally develop.
Just so effective. Yeah.
Yet another grandmaster produced.
Story of my life.
Yeah. All right. Bob, Joe, Jim, Sam, Steve, Doug.
So it was
Cruising
actually
home.
easier for him to win the rook end game as compared to having a rook advantage.
Yeah. He won much better with equal rooks than with 2 against 1.
Yeah, there was just too many pieces on the board, apparently.
Too many pieces on the board. And now when I chastise him for knight g5, he can say, but I won the game, coach. Chill out.
Yep, you don't judge the winners.
Yeah. If you got something to say, wait for me to lose a game, coach.
Ooh,
If
I
you-
hate rook b6 though.
If you
Yeah.
stalemate this. If you
No
stalemate
check.
this.
Queen e7, queen e7, queen e7, queen e7, queen e7. No, I'm just
You can go rook e6. That's
I mean,
fine. You get
But
the
he is
king two
thinking a while
squares.
about this checkmate.
It's allowed.
You already had a mate into with Rook B7 and then promote to Queen, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
he made
Yeah.
it.
Boom. There it is. Some clean technique.
Right. +1 for the checkmate knowledge. Nice.
Yeah. All right. Stop congratulating your opponents and play your next game.
Control from the very beginning till the end.
Yeah. Well, that game was 19th century chess. And we get into round 3. These players have 2 games left to catch the eye of a coach. Remember, everybody watching, that 4 of these 12 players will not even be drafted. 4 of these 12 players you're watching today, their Ultimate Sensei season will end today. They got that coveted invitation that they waited a year for. And in 2 hours, poof, it'll be gone. Alexandra will say, no, thank you. Try again another time. So any of the players right now who haven't won a game yet, I would say, has a lot of pressure on them to try and show something good right now. English opening from Lula. Simon goes back towards the King's Indian. Seth. Sveshnikov, Sicilian. World Championship approved chess. Clark. demonstrating his theoretical knowledge with bishop e3 over bishop g5. He's trying to recapture the old Fischer games. French from Gradanis against Drittman. Trade. Anybody want to tell me, is bishop takes better than knight takes in this move order? Because I think it is, but I could use it. Any of you know?
I think bishop g5 is actually not considered the most accurate. I think white usually just trades on f6 right away.
Yep.
And then plays like bishop d3, bishop e3 like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think bishop g5, my understanding is it's wrong because when black plays bishop e7, if you take with your bishop, they recapture with the knight, offering more trades. And if you take with your knight, they recapture with the bishop, offering more trades. So either you're simplifying black's task at every step, or you're going to waste a move retreating afterwards.
Right. Here, yeah, I think black should take with the bishop, and then either you trade, which is nice for black, or you get a tempo and play c5 or something.
Yeah. But Gradanis says, I know you meant to trade on f6 first, so we'll transpose back to opening theory. Kind of like
that's considered fair play, I think.
Yeah, the polite version, fair play, like giving a take back.
It's a royal game after all, so.
Okay, now we've got Velcro Dot and Blue Jay. They both won in the first round, lost in the second round. We'll see who bounces back better from that. We get to see Velcro Dot playing white for the first time. And this Caro Khan player is not just a solid player. She brings out the Smith-Mora Gambit. In round 3, bishop g4.
That's vastly consistent with her black repertoire, right?
Yeah. This bishop g4 move looks risky to me. Rook d1, e6. I don't know if I've ever seen black get to play bishop g4 in the Smith-Mora. Interesting. See what she comes up with.
The Nagev game, guys, is super exciting. If the board is already on fire.
Well, that's quick.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, 2 knights defense.
Mm.
Bishop c5, c3 with the cheeky little threat on b4. Maybe. If black cares. Black doesn't. The castle. Queen d5 was played. d4.
I think after c3, you're actually supposed to retreat to d6, right? There were games like that. I remember Muzichuk, I think, played with black or with white. There was a game like that. So you play bishop c5 specifically to like force white to play c3 so that the knight doesn't get developed to c3.
Right.
And then you
And
retreat
you
to
just
d6
bounce back.
because exactly. It's a nice subtle difference, but
Right.
at the end of the day, you need to retreat with the bishop.
And then you
Or-
still get sort of like a normal kind of position like this.
Yeah, very, very good compensation, especially on the, so you play rook e8, bishop a6, and there's a lot of those tactics. Rook takes e2 even at the end. Queen takes bishop d3.
Yeah.
Excitement on the board.
Okay. So black just castles and ignores b4. I like the spirit of that. If I were one of the senseis and somebody were playing c3, b4, and my student was just like, I don't care, that can't be good. I would be a fan of that. Queen
Me
d5
too,
comes
especially
in,
when Stockfish approves it with a +7 for black.
and queen g2 is the plan. Bishop f3. I guess rook e8.
Yeah, king d2,
King there.
At least
bishop
knight
e3,
c4.
and then bishop e3 check.
Oh,
That looks
nice,
spectacular. But then king c2 and nothing happens.
King c.
Bishop f2 first, guys, is even more brutal.
Bishop f2 right here. Yes.
Yeah, but Andras, are you still looking at Stockfish or is it just?
No, I never do. Now, unfortunately, I did look at Stockfish before Queen G2 happened. So, of course, I'm just parroting the computer line. But to my defense, I looked at it before Queen G2.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Bishop F2 is a spot.
That's a nice one.
We'll see if Narge finds that. That's definitely, what's that kind of thinking? Progressive thinking or something? Like you try a variation and then you go back and
Reciprocal. Reciprocal thinking.
You want to call that reciprocal? Okay.
Yeah.
Because like this kind of a line, the king just sort of starts walking away and you're like, why can't I catch him?
Yeah. Shout out to Gaprindashvili, Para.
Yeah. This can actually be quite frustrating for Black if you're just, it feels like it should be the end in a moment and the opponent is just not resigning. Runs with the king.
Right. Like, come on, aren't you embarrassed to move your king so much? Just resign.
Exactly. Just resign. It doesn't feel right.
You know what else? I think after Bishop F2, King D2, probably the only really, really good move is Bishop E3. Forcing the king up. Otherwise, even with discovered checks, if you don't use the double check, right?
Bingo,
Knight
baby.
C4, King C2, what are you doing?
He played it, actually.
He played it!
And Knight F2 was instantly played, which I believe was not really the most testing response. King D2 should have been played.
Yeah.
At least to entertain the crowd.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
What a
now it's
tactical
just
beast.
a murder here. Whew.
This
I
is
guess-
looking carnage, right?
I guess Bishop
E2,
E2 is
Knight
coming back.
G4. Whoo, baby.
And then some bishop to A6 or G4 or something.
I think this is,
A6.
guys, the right time to just gently mention that Morphifan is the guy that Nagaev, is the guy that I used to coach.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want you to make a connection between the quality of the play, but just dropping the info for your FYI.
Right.
Yeah, noted.
Yeah, both of you can find Bishop F2 without Stockfish. It's a
No,
striking
he could.
resemblance.
I couldn't. He could.
So you work on positional chess, right?
Exclusively,
Exclusively, and endgame technique.
as he pointed out with Bishop C5, Bishop D6. That was the positional lesson we had last time.
Yeah.
No, by the way, I haven't worked with him for at least a year, so it's all times.
Yeah.
Can't believe you gave positional lessons to Morphe fan. Unbelievable.
Knight E4.
Huh.
So I guess you just take it with the rook.
Yeah, I guess so.
You have to be consistent.
Yeah.
That looks beautiful.
Yeah. Unfortunately, now Black could play a move like Queen H3 and win the game. So it's not as
Queen G6 or
yeah.
just
So it's not as fun as before.
Ooh.
Oh, but he's gonna make it rain. He's not gonna just let it go boringly to its conclusion. Boom.
That's spicy.
Oh.
Is it a game of the year contender already, or
Yeah.
is history happening right now?
Is there a prize for before the actual thing begins?
Can they just earn a prize today?
Yeah, that's the question.
The prize today is a chance to study with you, man. That's what they're all angling for.
Is that a punishment or a prize?
We'll find out. They're all under the impression it's a prize. That's why they showed up.
Oh, you didn't tell them that I was one of the coaches then, did you?
No. That's true. We didn't tell them exactly who the coaches would be.
Yes. So they don't know that there are 3 prizes and 1 punishment among the coaches, right?
That's right. So now during the draft phase, they'll all have their fingers crossed.
Oh,
Yeah. Not
Well,
Slytherin. Not
ignorance is a
Slytherin.
bliss, right?
That's right. By the way, check out Clark's game. Clark Reset.
Yeah. And I'll just say not to bag on Gustavo, who's obviously getting, bagged on by Nargave already, but it feels like he should have spent a little bit more time on his moves here after like Bishop F2 and stuff, because it was like clearly a critical moment in the game. But okay, we'll go to Clark against Seth, Queen D5, cooking with double attacks here.
Knight E2 is very, I'm struggling to find a good word, but it's crafty, right? Knight E2.
There isn't a good word for that. Don't look for it.
There's There's no word for this thing.
There's no good word there.
No, knight
Right.
to do it's quite sneaky, right?
Right.
It's probably the only move, but it's a good one. I like it.
Well, you could have played knight d5.
Knight
I think
d5
is
is theory,
like
no?
the more obvious
Really, is it really?
move.
Yeah, I think so. It's not a good one, but at least that's a playable move.
Yeah.
I mean, knight
Yeah,
into
that's-
bishop e6, and we just
that's
did,
true.
right?
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So, but knight e2 with the idea
You
of
have to
knight
play
e4, queen
d5.
d5, as demonstrated by his opponent for him.
Yeah, you have to play d5 as black, but
And
it was so tempting to take.
geez, 8 minutes to come to terms with to say goodbye. It was a very tender goodbye between Seth and his knight. They spent 8 minutes hugging it out, some tears, promised to remember you. And now it's on to the glue factory for the knight on f2. Lula Robs playing positionally. Neither player revealing their hand too much as far as what they want to do with the center. Looks good. Looks good. Dritman, Gradanus. Whoa, so many trades. That's what I'm saying about those bishop g5 moves, folks. If you think you're aggressive when you play bishop g5, you might just be a merchant.
Wow.
Everything coming off. Ew. I guess d5 doesn't even draw because of b2, so Gradanus could use a good move around here. I imagine that he can still, that Drit can still equalize because of the weakness of b7, maybe rook c1. But he'll have to play it well. Velcro dot and Blue Jay. Tempo on h3. Bishop f4, queen c7. Well, White's got like a little bit of compensation, but nothing too thrilling. And I hate the move b3. I mean, I hate that it has to be played or that it was played. I don't know which, but
Both.
yeah, now I see clear ways for black to set up counterplay on the c file and start trading stuff off and take away from whatever plans white has. Rook c8. Okay.
Knight h5. That looks like a decent try.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I wonder if Felkerdot saw the move and did or didn't care about it. But that is definitely the move to play for black. Yeah, well, the Smith-Morra made no impression this game.
We'll see if Blue Jay still converts that, right?
Yeah, of course, converting it's a whole nother thing, but everything's going in his direction right now. Pretty easy play on the C file. Knight on E5 is going to be pretty obvious square to put it on. So pretty easy for him. And how about these guys here? They both have 2 points. These guys might be top draft picks. Let's see what they did. C3 Sicilian. Actually, a weird move order into the C3 Sicilian. Oh no, just fine. G6, unusual. Check. Again, just trading stuff. That was pretty limp from white.
Yeah. Yeah, just another textbook game from Falk.
Yeah, black counters the B file easily. Puts pressure on the C pawn, trades into endgame. That's going to be better for black. White noticed rook C1, bishop D4 here. They get a point for that. Should Falk be considering playing E5 right now?
I think he should be doing that, yeah. Just to create a second weakness or just exert even more pressure on it.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, not necessarily right now, but maybe after some kind of preparation. Maybe first transfer the rook on to A4, if possible.
Right. Because there is already a second weakness.
Yeah, there are two weaknesses, in fact, but then C3 becomes even more obvious weakness.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's like just an exact Alekhine game as black. Like he puts the rooks on A4, C4, A6, B5. He brings the king to D5. He plays E5 and wins.
Yep. Yeah. And it's in Cherishevsky.
Yeah.
So,
let's see.
Yeah. Okay. So he just plays E6 and he's going to do the plan. We'll see if he knows the plan. But meanwhile, we had first blood for this third round. So Nargath is at 3 out of 3 with some time to relax before game 4. So we'll see. The king came up, bishop G4. Cool move. Knight D2, check. Yeah.
And what's the point of drafting Nargath, right? He's already a ready player.
He's already a what?
He's a made player. Like he doesn't need any coaching. He's
Doesn't need
ready
any coaching.
to
So
rock and roll.
Leave him out, right?
Exactly. Like,
yeah.
It can only get worse.
Well, imagine if he gets drafted by me.
Yeah.
The journey begins to go backwards.
Yeah. Well, that game went pretty well for him for sure.
Oh, that was a beauty.
F4 from Bob Joe Jim. Now, Bob Joe Jim showed good endgame technique last game. Once he deequalized
Oh my
the rooks.
word! Did you guys see what happened in Clark's game?
No.
He upped his airport game with the Bottas gambit. Holy macaroni!
Oh, running from this bishop.
I mean, the fact that knight e2 is almost mate.
Yeah.
Is just an additional juicy, but bringing in the Bottas was next level.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was again a bad sequence of moves, like totally bad idea. Go queenside castle when opponent's c file is already open. Go knight b1 where your king side is not activated.
All right. Spend a move on that versus on moving the knight and bishop on f1. Yeah.
Yeah, or just maybe.
Yeah, his last good move was queen d5.
That's true. That's true. And sad at the same time.
Ouch.
Bad airport, I guess.
But it is
Next
funny to see the queen.
Another airport.
It is funny to see the queen run from that same bishop, right?
But then the comedy. Sorry, that's the story is not over yet because after takes on h3, Seth hung his knight on b4 for no reason.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Oh, it's
casually
the fishing
castled.
pole. Haven't you heard of it? It's popular at low levels.
Oh yeah, totally.
The fishing pole.
I don't even know which color I would prefer now.
You know what? It's now.
Yeah, I mean
3 minor pieces against the queen.
Exactly. Like, but I mean, okay, bishop g5 is a filthy threat, so white has to be careful here with the king.
Right.
But if you survive that on the light squares.
Yeah, the light squares are juicy, for sure. Nah, I think black is winning here because rook a1 seems to be just so annoying.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, definitely the story is not over yet.
Yeah, this game is not characterized
Stuff
by clean
will happen.
conversion.
I mean, okay, now b3, just bishop g5, queen a5 is over, right?
It would be, yeah, but it's not going to get played.
if it happens.
Okay, but now he's walking into another mate, so I can't keep up with the checkmate stories here.
Yeah. Well, you're going to have to on this show because
what
that's
happened?
the level.
Nothing happened. You didn't miss anything.
Clark.
Nothing to report on. There is nothing to see, folks.
Not a single interesting player.
When he castled queenside, I was like, "Oh, good, another episode of Airport."
But you didn't see the Bottas
fun.
gambit right after it, so.
Oh, Costa, you missed this
It's
moment?
implied at this point. Yeah.
Look at this.
The
Queen
juicer
sliding
makes-
from B3 to H3.
It's such an aesthetic move for the sake of geometry.
Right.
Yeah.
That actually, wait, did you guys think maybe that's a mouse slip?
That's less funny, but sure, I guess. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, it definitely feels like one. I mean, Queen G3 looks like
Queen G3 looks like the
supernatural.
normal move. Yeah. More normal.
Actually, for the
Oh,
record,
man.
yeah. After Queen G3, Bishop G5, Bishop B3,
Yeah.
and White leaves, right? Oh no, that ruins the whole narrative.
I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
defending any of White's moves here in the last.
You're just trying to explain them off the board.
Yeah, I mean,
somehow.
like, I think Queen G3 is more likely. But,
yeah, that is fair enough.
oh man.
Yeah. So here we've got Lula against Simon. This game's fun. I like that there's like a lot of moves to be played.
In the meantime, Falk's rook is already on a4, so
Yeah.
Sure, Shevsky red.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow. And you played F6.
That's some good technique.
Fine. E5 might be a little bit early from Falk, but I'm sure he's still much
Yeah,
better.
but on the other hand, that creates the fastest road for the king
Yeah.
on light squares.
I think part of the idea is that if White trades, he can win the pawn on D5 right away in this position. I think that's part
That's
of the
also
reasoning
true.
behind it. So if that's the case, you know, he can make his bishop stronger and you know, keep the white king from comfortably going to D3. Definitely interesting. I mean, he didn't play the move long ago when he first could have. Must have some reason to want to do it now. So Velcro not finding any chances here. Queen f4, knight e5, good. H6, yikes. H6 is like sort of like playing for this threat, except the threat's actually pretty annoying. Okay, queen e3 with f4. Yeah.
It's still not that clear, I guess, because if there's f4 plus knight b6 at some point, it's just about the timing, I guess. And maybe then the knight is transferred to c4.
Yeah. By the way, we've got a rook differential on another board, so let's just see how it happened. So this is this relatively simplified position. Rook d5, rook c7, e5.
Whoops.
I mean, a classic move, but one move too early. Normally you'd put the second rook on the d file. e5. Ouch. I wonder if Dripman's looking at rook f7. Good.
By the way,
simple
I was
move.
playing a tournament, over the board tournament today, and I managed to drop a rook myself, so I'm not judging anyone today.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it was time travel and a crazy complex position, but still not expected,
Okay.
not
Yeah.
justified.
Okay. Well, that'll help you like identify with the students.
Now,
We
if
have
a
had-
student blunders a rook, I feel there's some kind of a bond between us, right?
Yeah.
I'm hoping that you are recruiting on that grounds.
All right, so knight c1, rook here. This game actually ended with checkmate. The rook got out of the way of the queen. And Seth takes that game. Moves to 2 out of 3. Drittman is trading queens with Great Danis, so that looks like potentially Drittman's first win is headed his way.
With no support from the opponent?
Yeah, definitely major contribution from the opponent there. Interesting move, bishop h5 from Velcro Dot. Yeah, black might have been threatening some version of, you know, rook c1, knight f4. And then bishop g5. Now f7 would be hanging.
And you might be just looking for some kind of imbalances, right? If you manage to trade the bishop off for the knight, trade double pawns. It's a practical chance.
Yeah. So I imagine black's looking at moves like, you know, knight f8 and knight h4. That's a good sign for white, for that knight to be confused for a little bit.
I was actually considering taking on c1 once, playing b5 and maybe then d5 at some point. But then I'm still like, I would like to threaten bishop c5, but there's still not enough control over that square. But maybe at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, I was also looking at lots of ideas to try to play b5 for black here, including before rook d8, which rook d8 felt kind of pointless, like black just didn't know what to do next. So they passed the move to white. So there we are. Rook c1. Trade coming in and b5. Okay. So knight b6, knight c3.
Now d5 looks strong.
This could be the moment to unleash. Could be the moment.
Ay. So super powerful.
There's a move. Oh no, not so.
Second Bottas gambit of the round.
Yeah.
She probably felt that she's running out of time, you know, with a minute on the clock left and still a complex position. So she felt like she needed to speed up.
Yeah, she needed
but
to
it was just bad timing.
Yeah. The wrong move to speed up on.
Yeah, ouch. She must have thought that the main threat was pawn d4.
Probably. Yeah,
but yeah, it was also just over at that point. Looks like position's collapsing. Like, because if you move the knight, then e4 is hanging.
Yeah. Maybe queen d3. Bizarre.
And f4 hangs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, knight f4 too. Yikes. Oh, d5 was really too strong. All right, let's check back in on Falk's technique for a moment. So e5 led to all the pawn trades, which I imagine is the scenario he wanted, more or less. a3 checks the king out of the center. If rook e4, white has rook e1, so that doesn't necessarily do anything special. Aims at rook f2, and white doesn't stop him, but gives up the a pawn. Threatens rook e8. And the king comes out, and he comes back to defend that pawn. Whew. I mean, if Falk checkmates, that's going to be a lot of... I'm going to give him a lot of credit if he plays for checkmate in this position, because a lot of people don't realize you can do that in the end game.
Yeah, good technique.
I think bishop e7, g5 would be like the main plan here.
Or yeah, just bring the king to f5, doubling rooks on the second rank.
Okay, just doubling to
flagging the opponent. Many ways to win here.
Flagging the opponent could be the best technique.
No, I mean, it's just one of a few possibilities, but we'll see what he does. Yeah, here I really like king e6, just like multi-purpose, defending, improving the king.
Yeah. Man, that rook on b3 is so miserable ever since Falk played e5.
Yeah.
I really like the way Falk played on two fronts at the same time. He realized that queenside is not the only vulnerable area for white.
Yeah, tying
shows
white to
very
the
good
A3
understanding,
pawn, but not trying to win the game on a3 or a2. Yeah. Wow. Spent a lot of time thinking. And king e8. Calm. He saw king e6, rook d8. And went for king e8. Ooh. Now h5 is an extra option, taking away that square. Rook d8 is white's idea. We have a result
to see bishop e7.
Not a very surprising result, but Blue Jay chess with the extra queen won that game. So we're not going to follow that. That was an extra queen there. See what Falk can do. Falk's either using his time really well or getting into needless time pressure. Coaches didn't like that move, folks.
I didn't.
Now g5, g4, rook h2, king f6 you throw in earlier. Rook e2.
But why did he play bishop e7? He could have gone rook e2 without it.
Afraid of ghosts, simply.
Yeah. Okay, now takes an h2 should be good.
Just probably, being over prophylactic.
He's only up a pawn now.
Yeah, but 3 isolated pawns is gonna be a hell to defend.
Now he should actually just go for the queen side of the king. King d6, c5, c4.
Yeah, exactly.
That must be the quickest.
Maybe take him on first just to avoid the 4 rooks.
Yep. Oh,
what?
He's still trying to give checkmate, I guess. Rook f2, h5.
Yeah. That's actually
e2,
nice.
f2.
Yeah. h5, rook f2 mate incoming. Oh!
Oh no!
Oh my!
Oh man!
What? And it was just like, was the pre?
It was a pre-move by the speed of it, I reckon.
0.9 seconds, it says.
Normally it's 0.1 for a pre-move.
Yeah.
Okay, then it wasn't right.
There's a hand.
And now he blunders
King G2, another
King
one.
G2. Wow.
What a! Oh my goodness.
We are setting rook hanging records for Chess Dojo.
I
And
think
it's
for
quite
the
funny
world,
because
it's like
not
20
other pieces, just the rooks.
for humankind. I think it never happened before.
Honestly, it's pretty similar to last year with the 1800 to 2000.
Lula won her first game. Lula won her first game moments ago here. They were playing very slow, her and Simon. They were still at move like 25 here. And he played d4 and Simon just ran out of time there.
Yeah, d4 is really good.
D4 is sexy though.
That was,
have to give her credit.
That was
for
slick.
that.
Bishop e4, d4. And the last game just finished as well. So Bob Joe Jim won, Dripman won, up a rook that game. And that's everything for the round. One last round, final round to check out the players.
Hulk had everything.
He had everything.
Oh.
Now you can see if he's got any resilience, because that must be pretty upsetting, that H5 move.
Yeah.
Imagine if he did that in the finals.
Yeah. That would be worse. That would be
Oh,
worse.
yeah,
If he doesn't get drafted though today, then it's going to be the worst actually right here. If nobody wants him over that. Okay.
I mean, that would be harsh even by my standards. Not
Yeah.
to draft him because of that.
Yeah, it's one mistake.
All right, Kostya, who should I be watching in round 4?
Let's see. Well, I would love to see Chris against Gustavo, but it's still the
Nagev's
opening.
games is going to be another ripper with the same-ish.
Yeah,
that's not to contradict Kostya, just putting it out there that it's looking like another wild scenario potentially.
Mm-hmm. And that is 3 points
sure.
against 3 points. As far as you know, who's going to win the tournament, that will be the game. Well, let's check in on Chris and Gustavo. Well, Chris is having a long think about this opening. He must wonder what it's called.
He's like, yeah, is this the Grunfeld or the King's Indian? I can't move until I remember.
Play the Grunfeld. I'm a Grunfeld player.
Takes interesting choice.
Which game is that? Because I changed.
It's Gustavo against C. Gradanus.
Yeah. Alexandra, do you mind if I ask you a question here? Are you thinking more about who you want to draft or who you want to avoid drafting?
I also avoiding one guy at the moment. I made rankings for everyone already. So just for his opening choice. So
okay, so there's one person who's completely out.
Yeah.
All right, and 11 players still in contention to be drafted.
Yeah, I'm still filling my rankings. I'm adding their score now. So
yeah,
maybe that's also important.
Yeah, super. Okay, and Andras, is there any are you looking for players you want or players you don't want? Do you X someone out, or do you keep watching them to all the way through round 4?
Nah, look, I don't want to be the negative Nancy. So no, I don't have anyone who I don't want. I do have a fair few who I do want. But look, no one has played the London yet, so that would be the only reason why I would go no.
That would be bang.
Yeah, no, that's been no longer in speaking terms for sure.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding, but look, no, of course, I'm looking for the positives.
Yeah, we should bring Magnus in here on a speed run account, have him play the London, and have Andras go, oh, this player is clearly without talent.
Oh no, that's not lack of talent. It's just lack of correct orientation. But yeah, we can help it. I'm available for Maggie. So if he wants to reach out, for help.
Need some last minute help before the match.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm here. He knows my number. Actually, he doesn't. Bugger.
That's probably the problem. You need to publish your phone number on the internet so that he can look it up.
Yeah, I reckon. I reckon.
Yeah. All right. So Chris finally decided it was the Grunfeld. We got a classic exchange variation on our hands, but definitely checking his opening choice very seriously. This game is Chris Gradanus. Lula Robs with a second English opening against Clark. And Clark plays the little kid defense to the English defense.
Is it what it's called, the little kid defense?
Yep.
More or less. I was shocked to find out that the little kid defense to the English is now actually played by grandmasters sometimes.
That, it is actually played surprisingly frequently by decent GMs. So.
Yeah, apparently you can just just like say like, oh, it looks like the Gioco piano
Yeah,
to me.
exactly. It's just a pawn on c4 or a bishop. What's the difference, right?
Yeah. And apparently, yeah, this is actually been played by players who would laugh at every game I've ever played. So yeah, there we go. Simon and Velcro Dot. Oh, Velcro Dot got 3 blacks and 3 Karo Khan defenses. So this is definitely an E4 meta in this second season here. A lot of people playing 1 E4. Panov bot
By test. Pawn e5 in the Grimfeld. That was a subtle novelty.
Kind of a lame bishop d3 there for white. Greidanus e5 without. Oh no, before. Okay, e5. Wow. Well, that'll give Gustavo something to think about too. We can judge his.
I'm not going to tell you what Botvinnik would say to that move, but yeah.
Well, here Bob Joe Jim is giving us what we want, providing some excitement with teaming up with Nargave, who's provided us excitement previously. Bob Joe Jim just throws it down. Bishop takes g4.
Bob Joe went for the airport gambit, but he's not the one stuck at the airport, right?
No, he's not. That's Clark. That's Clark, who's currently playing the little kid defense to the English.
Okay.
Clark
is the little kid defense and the airport gambit today, right?
Yeah. Clark is, not known for opening theory. Not known for opening theory, but okay. Here we get the fight. White sets up the same-ish, takes all the space. Black doesn't see anywhere to play normally, so sacks a piece. And
he's dead. Like bishop h3, and then we can put the pieces back in the box, right?
Yeah,
Bishop
it's like
H-
that sack Magnus made against Neidich when he lost.
That's right, yeah.
I'm playing like Magnus, the only game he ever lost.
He made one like those against Gawain in the Dragon too.
Yep. Yeah. Then won.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that one was like unintentional.
Yeah. I keep a picture of it on my phone in case I ever run into Gawain. I'll just like pretend I'm looking something up and then like drop my phone and he can pick it up.
Oh, brutal.
See the image.
It's so good to see that we all have the best of intentions. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No nasty whatsoever.
No. All good. All love in the chess world. Nargave having a think here. I guess he hasn't seen your move bishop h3 yet.
Yeah, I dare say that yeah, it is not quite on his radar yet.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, he thinks that over. Let's see what Blue Jay Chess is doing. He's got a Grand Prix.
Oh, h6 by black.
Yikes.
That is not a page out of my textbook, that's for sure.
Yeah, h6 is what we don't want to see here.
No, the doggy ears are not my favorite moves.
f5 is a good response. And queen h4 is the logical follow-up. Yeah. Yeah. Queen h4. Not sure what to suggest for Seth here at the moment. I guess king h7.
King h7 is a beautiful draw for, right? Knight g5 check, king back.
Yeah. It's a draw I would offer. I haven't offered many draws in my life, but I would repeat positions here as black if I had the chance.
Till the cows come home for sure. Absolutely.
Ooh, Counterspark suggests knight g4. That's a surprise. That's his little surprise move there. But I think h3 would deal with it, unfortunately, for black. Yeah. Okay. On to Falk and Drittman. You know, let's see. Drittman's history. He's played Belcordot. Okay, so Drittman playing e4, e5 with black. Pawn on b4 drops in the opening, but maybe not a big deal. Well, I guess if white plays b5, the extra pawn is a big deal.
By the way, Falk played this opening with a very subtle trick in mind, because he played d3 on move 8 and then d4 on move 10. So, yeah, I'm not so sure about the opening handling of this.
Right. Presumably he's down to full tempo on whatever opening theory might be.
Yeah, but in an Archangel where Tempi, rumor has it, tend to meta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That a7 bishop is a heck of a sniper.
Yeah. Yeah, to everybody watching in chat, we had about 50 or so student applications. So yeah, we couldn't accept everybody who applied. It'd be fun to have lots of you, but for the show to be truly gripping, we think it needs to be a number of teachers and students that you can reasonably follow to keep track of them. And, after several weeks, have your favorites and, know who to root for and who to root against.
What was the basis, David, on sifting through the 50 applications? Was it also purely based on bribery, or other considerations were taken on board as well?
So of course there was that, but other considerations included whether their rating fell within the rating range we were looking for. That was a big one.
Yep.
I was looking for some diversity in gender and national origin. I thought it'd be fun to have some players from a few different countries.
By the way, kudos to you for having ladies. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Both on the coaches team too, by the way. So that's a particularly good touch.
Yeah. Yeah. So those were a couple other considerations as well. And let's see, what was another one? I read people's applications. Kosti and I read the applications. And
wow, that sounds like a new concept.
Yeah. Like, wait, what did we do? Oh yeah, we read the words they wrote, and then we're like, oh, this person sounds like they would be fun, or they'd be exciting, or they would put in effort, or this person sounds like, like some applications were literally like, I'd like to be in. Period.
Actually, not that I want to steal the show, but now I have got I'm asking now the questions from you, David. So without mentioning a name. Yeah. Can you quote a line or a phrase that you went like, that guy's in, or that lady is in because they wrote something hilarious or catchy or attractive from a coaching point of view?
Right. Like one off the top of my head, as opposed to like looking it up and like reading the quote. But one player was like, I live in some small town where there's nobody to play against. I'm super competitive. Like I want to beat people and I've got nobody here to beat. So like put me in and let me beat people from around the world.
Right. That's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah. So that was an example of like and they said more than that, right? But that was one of the things they said where I was like, okay, this person like comes onto my radar, somebody who I didn't, know or think of before. And you can compare that to somebody who said like, please let me in period. And that's the whole application, right? That scores less points.
Fair enough. Was there anyone coming with the, how much is the prize money again?
No, we didn't get any of that. Yeah. Yeah.
No real ambitions this year, with other words.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think for the players, like getting to spend time with the teachers or who they imagined might be the teachers is really like the big prize for them. And for you, of course, the prize is the prize money because, you know, it's less thrilling for you to meet the players since you've already done a lot of coaching, but.
Not at all. We are also excited to coach and achieve the maximum what we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited about. I can't wait to see how far we can get. It's going to be like a nuclear arms race. Like,
yeah,
exactly. I mean, the ultimate prize is to be the ultimate sensei. No one is here for the coin. I mean, it's nice that there is some.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing which of you three are like the bad teachers and which one of you is a good teacher. It'll be good to know, because then when you're like advertising lessons on Twitter in the future, I'll be like, this person came in third in a
definitely not the sensei.
Yeah.
Third
exactly out of
right.
4.
There's no winner. There are just 3 losers.
Yeah. Not where you want to spend your money.
The best out of the worst.
I mean, look, I famously am known for having a very little ego, but to have that ultimate sensei logo on my website, which is not even made yet, next to my name, is definitely something that I'm picturing big time.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Any way that I could purchase that in case I didn't get to become one? You know, just continuing the lines of inquiry of bribery.
So you're going to try and bribe me for advantage in the competition, still lose the competition, then try and bribe us to still let you call yourself the ultimate sensei.
Yeah, that's basically.
Actually, David, why don't we just sell the title? You know, like V-Day.
Andras is showing why billionaires never fail, you know, like they just keep throwing money at the problem until they're declared the greatest ever.
Right? That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, alternatively, I could try to draft all 8 of them.
Yeah.
Then it's a clear-cut victory, right?
Yeah, definitely. If you got all the students, I guess. Yeah. Meanwhile, Blue Jay Chess here scored a knockout this round with this Grand Prix attack. The pawn on h6 helped a little bit. He munched it along the way. Here, there's kind of a cool checkmate with queen g5, rook h3 possible. Also queen h8 if you don't take it. So Blue Jay Chess finishes with 3 out of 4 points here in this tournament. And nothing.
Who was against?
It was against Seth.
Okay.
Our Sicilian defense player played a Sveshnikov in the previous round against Clark.
Right.
So Blue Jay Chess and Seth, they have rested their applications before the 4 of you now. They've rested their cases. This is what they are bringing to the event. Falk versus Drittman. After playing b5, you see, brings the bishop to c6, brings the knight to b5. Really gunning for Drittman here, but Drittman finds bishop a6 to keep the game going.
So, David, let me just get this clear. So right after the game's finished, you are going to allocate the drafting procedure, as in who gets to pick what, and then we just fire away? Or there is a bit of a break there where we get to gather our thoughts and, what's the goal?
I will give you all 5 minutes to go off camera and just talk with each other. Not with each other. Talk by yourself.
Yep.
Think by yourself what you want to do once you know what your draft position is. So at that point, you'll know if you're 1-8 or 2-7, etc. And you can take another 5 minutes to sort of figure out some scenarios. And then after 5 minutes, we'll bring you back to start picking.
Wait, so first we get our numbers, or first we need to...
First you get your numbers, and then you can think for a little bit. And then we'll come in and we'll do the draft. And you know, if you've got third pick, you might think of 2 players you want, and then they get picked. So maybe you think of 3 or 4 players you want. So anyway, you'll figure it out. You guys are chess geniuses. Bishop a6. pawn takes. Uh-oh, queen e4 makes some threats. Queen e4 makes some threats. Hey, this is the most complicated position we've had yet today in some ways. There's lines like rook takes f3, pawn takes f3, knight g5.
Yeah, sexy chess is on.
Yeah. But speaking of sexy chess, I haven't checked on the sack in a while, right? Nargate and Bob Joe Jim. There's no bishop on e6, so this game is not over yet. Knight,
Yeah.
bishop, rook. White's up a rook now.
Yeah, but that's never a good sign in this tournament insofar, right? Because that is a potential to blunder it.
That's right. You're only one blunder away from losing the game if you're up a rook. Let's see what happens. So we traded on c6. Black took back. White castled. Rook f3. A threat, at least. Rook h3. Knight e3. Rook f3. And here's where he really cranked up the ante. He didn't take the rook on d1. Knight takes c4. Wow, intense. But that d5 pawn looks like it may have been insufficiently protected.
That is one of the most beautiful way of saying, David, that it was a terrible blunder. I will take that down for my chess coaching dictionary.
All right. You're welcome to take anything you want.
Insufficiently defended.
Yeah. Queen c4 is slicker than queen d5.
AKA, what on earth are you doing?
Yeah. The knight on d5, the remaining knight, I'm going to keep serving them up for you, Andras. The knight on d5, the remaining knight, is less dangerous than the knight on c4 was.
Oh my God, look at this. You're not only an international master at chess, but also the English language, right?
Yeah. So
with several norms.
This knight on c4 is currently less dangerous.
Yeah.
And
the d5 knight has got some mobility challenges at the moment.
Yeah. And I think this is a good time to remind you, Andras, that I bet $100 that Nargate would win the tournament against you before it started. And you picked the other 7 players.
That right?
Is that right? Is that what happened?
Yeah. You remember that?
Am I meant to just nod to this utter bollocks and play along, or?
Yeah.
No, David, I think that was against me. I think I lost that bet to you.
You lost that bet?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I started off by claiming that Nargate was my former student, which by definitions means that I would never bet against him.
Yeah.
But nice touch there. Nice touch.
All right. Well, and there we see it. He won it. Somebody owes me $100. I don't know which of you it is, but
Alexandra, because she's not paying attention, so we can just, you know.
I'm not giving you money.
Oh, she's here. Oh, that didn't work.
She's always here. She's just not distracting herself by engaging in banter. She's going to win this event.
Yeah, but the penguin power is too strong. As soon as I mentioned her, she was immediately like, nah, not happening.
Yeah. Anything wrong with 98? Super strong players? Did Velcro.C 98?
Oh, 98.
No, but wait. There's bishop h.
98 is minus queen, yep.
98 is too far. It's, players with glasses don't see that far.
She planned all this, right? When she put her king on g7.
Totally, bishop h2 choke. Yeah.
So Simon narrowly avoids that trap and eats the pawn on d5. Tense position. Whoa. Weird double attack from Falk. Let's see. Queen e4, rook f3, queen f3. Oh, he didn't even try g takes f3, knight g5, because after Drittman wins the piece on b5, he had planned queen d3. That move was played in 1 second, coaches, for those of you taking notes.
Meaning nobody.
Queen d3 in 1 second.
Yeah, but queen f6 is a
But after queen f6, he didn't play a move in 1 second.
Yeah, no one would. But I think actually white might be better here after bishop e3, no? Because of that a-pawn is looking like a filthy dude.
Yeah,
Unless
the
we
a-pawn
get
might
mated.
be better than the knights.
Unless we get mated, but that's usually, of secondary importance in this game compared to a pass pawn.
But look, you can measure exactly how many moves ahead fault calculates, right? That's useful information there. We can see after rook f3.
Are you subtly suggesting a 1?
He thought for a minute, played queen f3, and then boom, 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 all the way up to here. So, yeah. Useful to measure in a competition. All right. So
I just would like to take note, by the way, of the fact that Morphifan has joined the chat. So now he's basically just selling himself to the highest bidder. I reckon that's what he's doing there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's his chance to, in chat, tell the coaches what they want to hear. You know, I promise to score more points in the next tournament.
Well, if he promises to score more than 4 out of 4, I'm not taking that guy. That's for sure.
Yeah.
There is something fishy going on there.
Yeah, maybe a little. Nargave, won this game right here. Blue Jay Chess won this game. We've got 4 games still going. Gredanis and Gustavo Luca, our Grunfeld defense. Well, somehow he made good use of that weird d4, e5 pawn structure. Oh, he sacked it right away.
6. Dear Lord.
Wow. Intense fight over the D pawn.
What a game.
And just trading his way through. Actually, the trades look a little bit dangerous for black here. That pawn's getting close.
Blue Jay is pulling your legs, gentlemen, David and Kostya. He says that he prepared that Grand Prix through my YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Now, given that I only have one YouTube video on my channel about the Grand Prix, and that is to how to beat it, I'm not quite sure who he's mocking here.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's quoting the wrong channel or the wrong guy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, to the 4 players who've already finished their games and have gathered in chat, feel free to say whatever you want the coaches to hear right now. Seth says he also watched that video of yours, but he apologizes for failing you.
Clearly, my videos have a vast effect on this whole entire business.
Yeah, it's all based on the videos.
Oh, totally.
Bishop f8. Okay.
Seems like the games were pretty intense for the students. That's kind of cool. You guys had like a really nerve-wracking experience.
Yeah. D7. It's close, but it needs another step. Let's see what Chris has planned. Queen d6 quickly. All right. He knew that he wasn't going to let the black king get to e7. Any of the coaches know if this is winning or losing? I shouldn't distract you. It's your last moments to watch to check out the players.
Definitely winning for someone.
Okay.
I think black is, I mean, if white plays a4, preventing b5, maybe some kind of a Zugzwang with king's activity.
Yeah.
I don't think black is winning.
No,
yeah,
black
black
is
Yeah, black has like no chances.
Yeah.
I think white is winning, but not sure in this game.
Yeah, if Andrade says that someone's winning, he means white. A4 would be the best first move, and then the question is, can you bring like your king all the way to c6 or something?
Yeah.
Or b5, I guess. That will be probably enough just to play queen takes b6.
Yeah.
That's not precise because now b5 should give like enough counterplay.
Yeah.
b5, b4, and just push the pawns.
Just enough to draw. Just enough. So we saw white didn't know about this counterplay. Now let's see if black knows about this counterplay.
I think White is panic already. He's panicking because he's low on time and he's not thinking what to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've got a desperado. Bishop takes h7, check played on another board.
Oh, by the way, Dritman winning.
Dritman is winning now?
Looks
Yep.
like.
Whoa, the knights.
So Falk had a very good start and just collapsed.
Some kind of checkmates.
Yeah.
Yeah,
May I,
that
by the
h5
way,
move.
gently point out that when he played Queen D1, he actually could have just played A6 and ignored the fact that the queen was hanging like a boss.
Mm.
Like knight D3 is not a
true.
threat. Just take A7 and on your bike, as the famous streamer would say, right?
I don't know who that is, but
yeah, well, I don't know either, but I heard it somewhere and I thought it was a catchy phrase. So
catchy phrase. Okay.
Maybe
you should use it.
I adopted it indeed.
Okay.
Was a famous
Maybe.
poker player, by the way, on a serious note. In case you genuinely don't know.
Once
Is there
knight
a kind
g5
of
comes in, it's messy.
Tony G.
So black was already probably threatening knight f to h3 after knight g5. This was not clear for white anymore. Whew.
I mean, this was definitely one of the sexiest games of the competition for sure.
Yeah.
It's very fierce, very to and fro, quite tactics heavy, the way we like it.
Yeah, he found the
nice
bishop
game from
e3
him.
move that you said should be played, right? But then, just didn't push the a pawn here, didn't push the a pawn here.
Yeah,
There was only one scenario for white once they go into that position, and it was pushing the a pawn. So queen f2, queen e3, taking this piece a6.
I mean, mating one on f4 is not a bad move now, right?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, Dritman just looked at it long enough till Falk couldn't bear it anymore. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, opposite tournaments for Dritman and Falk, right? Falk started out 2-0, lost the last two games. Dritman started out 0-2, won the last.
In the chat, Dritman wrote insanity.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you miscalculated, but then the line went deeper. That's what Falk said.
Yeah.
The lines tend to do that, actually.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Gustavo decided it was time to give the perpetual check. Gustavo did find b5, so that's points for Gustavo right there. But then the white king came out and he starts checking instead of, just counting on white not being able to make progress. So
yeah, but on the other hand, what was he supposed to do instead of b5? You're just running out of moves.
Mm-hmm.
Still, good find.
Yeah. Oh, another game just ended. Velcro Dot won on time in this position here. I was watching the game, but not the clock. Yeah.
Velcro Dot won that.
Yeah. I mean, she'd been doing well, but Simon's just created counterplay here with, the good old plan of checkmating the king on h6 that Falk should have done in round 3.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Well, flagging with a 5-second increment. F4 from Gradanus. Oh, Gustavo might have to back up. He backs. Lula's got an extra rook now.
Yeah, I was about to say that Clark made sure that he wanted to continue the beautiful tradition.
Okay, so at this point, it was complicated. They had 2 rooks and a queen each. Clark had some ideas to maybe attack the white king. And Lula just came and defended, and he didn't recapture on f6.
Yeah, that was a weird decision by Clark.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, the c4 square was pretty important. But wow, that was actually 2 rooks.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's rooks, but
there went one of them.
I mean,
only
it's
one
addictive.
rook has not yet been
It's-
hung on this board.
And there's one look left to be dropped, right?
Yeah. The bad news for Lula is if she loses this rook, she'll be behind on pawns. That could be rough.
Go on, play faster.
Seconds each. Let's have a look at what they do. Queen F1 was a really good move.
Queen F6 seems strong.
Yeah.
Drama is real, man.
Queen F4 is good too.
Check again.
Oui, chérie, je travaille encore.
Lula needs to find a way to trade that rook away so that she won't blunder it. I mean, that seems to be the theme of the second Ultimate Sensei draft tournament.
Yeah. She'd have
Problem
to
is there is
somehow
nothing
trade
to trade it for, right? So
yeah.
it's clearly a
There's
liquidation
still a way to blunder checkmate for white, you know.
Oh, that too.
Queen H7, King G4, G6, Queen H5. Not
Yeah.
anymore, I guess.
But now come the checks.
Oh, it's going to be tricky.
Yeah. I don't
So you
see a
should
way to
probably
avoid
go King G2, F3, F4, E5 this way, maybe.
it. Mhm. Yeah.
That's probably the only way, I guess.
Yeah, you can just go walk to H1 too, right?
Oh,
The problem
no,
is
we-
Clark
finishes
is
the game.
Clark is going to have trouble in the airport with the couple second increment at this point.
Why didn't you take on E6?
Yeah, E6 checkmate was not a blunder.
no, just time pressure, of course.
Struggling with the final seconds here. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I think Clark's probably more likely to flag on his phone than Lula is.
Clark is having a body check right now.
Yeah. And Gradana's won the last round game, the queen end game.
Who won that one?
Gradanas did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now King F4, Queen F5.
Oh, don't do it.
That would have been the
essence,
ultimate
like,
way.
yeah, cherry on the
The
top.
ultimate way. Oh boy.
There's still a chance. I mean, the game is on.
The pressure
Queen
is
C-
just
Queen C2.
massive on these two players
I
right
mean,
now.
C2 now is anyone's game, right?
Yeah.
Considering the time. Oh, come on, dude.
Especially if white never uses the theme of queen takes e6. If white's not allowed to play queen takes e6, they've got a tough position on their hands.
I agree.
So much pressure.
And the
This-
draw
this
was
is-
agreed.
This is gonna be next level.
Awesome.
Queen D1. Queen D1.
Queen e3, that's maybe good.
Looks like improvement, right?
On queen
Yeah.
f1, king g4, c2, right? This pawn might, uh-oh.
Yeah, Queen E to C2 is also filthy now.
Who's stopping this pawn now?
Oh no.
Oops, C2.
Queen C3.
C2 Rook G1 was also a move here.
That's
Now he
true.
wants, yeah, very clearly Clark is playing for mate. I mean, the airport gambit doesn't allow lame chess like getting 2 queens. Sadly,
There
Queen
any
F5 is no
checkmate
longer a
available
mate.
here?
So now after King D4, he will be forced to play C2.
Yeah.
But that may not be a most
Not
Yeah,
the end of the world
appropriate
either.
time. Yeah, Rook G1 is solid.
Solid.
Lula correctly centralized her king, and now there is
Yeah.
nothing. Center, guys. All I can say
Yeah,
is
also
center.
avoided rook f3, queen takes f3. Would have been unfortunate.
Oh, God.
That would have been a rook blunder.
That was what the game was missing, the last rook.
Damn.
Oh, queen on the file of the king. Are you sure?
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay.
King E3, Queen B6 check. No? Okay, now she's solid now. She's solid.
That's a nice maneuver.
Yeah, the airport gambit failed, and now he's gonna time out.
Ooh, made a move with 0.8 seconds.
He's fighting.
Oh, but she's got
Oh.
30 seconds and she's got everything.
Lula delivers now in spades. Cruel.
Wow. I predict high heart rates on both these two players.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Come on, Lula. Why are we taking this pawn?
So what are the odds for the stalemate?
Where is the stalemate? No, there isn't one. Actually, can just queen.
Now rook g8, king e7, rook f8 would be the only way to give a stalemate. Oh, she found it. Nice.
All right. And that's the tournament. And conveniently for all the viewers, you can see the standings now on top of the board. Nargay finishing with 4 out of 4, promises to do better next time. Blue Jay Chess and Bob Joe Jim with 3 out of 4 as well. And then there are some players with 2 out of 4, like Falk Dritman, Seth Lichtenstein, Velcro Dot, Lula Robs. And that rounds out the top of the standings. Now we're going to find out who gets the first pick in this draft. So I am thinking of a number between 1 and 100. And the senseis are going to try and guess what number I'm thinking of.
Who gets to pick first? What number you're thinking of?
You do.
69.
Okay.
27.
What's that?
27.
Okay.
64.
Okay. Kostya?
Interesting.
You can't think too long. You got to go last.
I'll
already.
take 70. Sorry.
All right, 70. Kostya, you've got first and 8th pick.
Dang.
Well, are you gonna tell what the actual number was, or I would like to file a objection.
You want a review?
Yeah.
The number was 97.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, you changed your mind halfway.
No.
Bollocks. Jeez.
It was 97. All right. I'm thinking of another number, although it could again be 97.
No. Is that for the second draft?
We can
For
just
the second
randomize
pick,
it.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Second pick. I see.
Yeah. Matt,
But
what do you
wait,
think?
isn't the once you will determine who the first pick is, then the second pick is basically the like 1-8 and all that? Like, do we need to know?
Yeah, isn't it reversed simply?
Yeah, Kostya's got the 8th pick as well as the first pick.
So what's the point of thinking of your number again?
I'm going to find out who's 2nd and 7th now. Too many questions, Andras. It'll all work out. Matt, what do you think?
Oh, okay. Sorry, David. Sorry, I'm too slow for this.
33.
Okay. Alexandra?
27.
37?
27.
27. All right. Andras, on you.
96.
Very good. It was 95 this time. You've got 2nd and 7th.
Baby.
All right. Now for 3rd through 6th pick, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. Alexandra?
I can't say 27 now.
Between yeah, you
try.
can. It's
No,
between
you
1
can
and
try.
10.
2 or 7.
4.
Okay.
9.
Okay.
That was stupid, right?
It depends if you want 3rd pick or 4th pick. I mean, it's not. I don't know
That's
which
true.
pick is better, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, it was 1. So Alexandra has the 3rd and 6th picks,
Sure.
and Matt.
So I guess I'm not the ultimate sensei.
Well, we're going to have to wait 9 weeks to find out. You've got 4th and 5th picks. This show has almost nothing to do with guessing numbers. That was the end of the guessing
Really?
numbers for
No,
the whole show.
I just came here for the guessing part.
Yeah. So that part's done. So I will give you guys 5 minutes to think about how you think this draft is going to go. Just to be clear, Kostya has 1st and 8th pick. Andras has 2nd and 7th pick. Alexandra has 3rd and 6th pick. And Matt, you get back to back. You pick 4th and then 5th.
Can I just gently suggest that, given that this is the Chess Dojo Ultimate Sensei and one of the dojos got first pick, it's a little bit smelly.
Yeah, things are usually kind of smelly over here. That's just how it...
My bribery clearly wasn't the most effective, and someone else's was.
Yeah.
Andres, you declined the bribe. Remember that bet that you apparently did not make?
Yeah. Yeah,
well,
you questioned the bet.
I can't bet on something that is already decided, like Naga winning was case closed, right?
Mm-hmm. All right. Fair enough. In any case, you know how we roll. That's how we roll. And
no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I will see you guys.
Just to be clear, that was a banter.
Yeah. All right. Final tip for the coaches. Velcro Dot says that this was so fun. Okay. We thought maybe it was so stressful. For her, it was so fun. I give you 5 minutes to think about it. I'm going to try and deal with this light here. That's crazy. See if that helps. That does help. I can do some more of that.
I totally agree with Velcro, by the way. And yeah, for us coaches, it was definitely a lot of fun too.
Yeah, I would think it's more fun for us. All right. And
but the fun is only about to begin now. So
yeah, I'll just chat with the chat for 5 minutes so you guys can block me out or whatever you want while we do that. DM, do we have Jesse's little video? Do we want to play that while the coaches are thinking? You want to cue that up for everybody? All right, folks, we were very sad that Jesse couldn't be here all day. And I know you were all very sad, but you're about to get 50 seconds that are worth 3 hours. Here is Jesse Cry on season 2 of Ultimate Sensei.
Ultimate Sensei. Some will practice the bob and weave with a little jab to the face. Others will come off the top rope and land with a bone-crushing fury. But which sensei will teach the untrained their methods the best? That is what this game is about. Each sensei will have the opportunity to watch the untrained flailings of 8 idiots. They will decide who they will coach, and then we will see which methods can be inculcated the best, which methods will prove superior. Last year, International Master David Bruce was the Ultimate Sensei. Who will win the final tournament? Who will become this year's Ultimate Sensei?
Go. Welcome back, everybody, to Ultimate Sensei. Well, I guess you've been at Ultimate Sensei this whole time. Welcome back to me, I guess. Amazing video we hear. A lot of Highlander in it. Who's a flailing idiot? Chess numbers. The 12 students right now are waiting in suspense to find out how they're going to get picked. They've put everything on the line today. Every ounce of effort has been expended. I am very impressed with the effort. Good job, all of you. I think you're all tired at this point, which is perfect. You should be. Thank you all for participating in this. We're happy to have you, and we'll be super happy with any 8 of you over the course of this season. The coaches right now, they get a moment like under the gun where they have to make some quick decisions. So we'll see how they make their first moves of this season. So far, I'm most impressed with Alexandra. I think Kostya, it bears mentioning, came into this season with a huge advantage. While it's just me, I can tell you guys this. Kostya probably knows like 8 of these 12 players going into it, right? Like Andras is like, do I need to come clean about the fact that I know one of these people? Kostya knows like 8 of them. So if Kostya doesn't win this, it's really going to be, his fault. because, it's on his home turf and he should have some advantage here in the drafting phase from knowing everybody. But Alexandra, she was working her fingers to the bone during this draft tournament. Analyzing all the players. I think she's probably got a well ordering of all 12 players going into the draft of who she wants. So depending on who gets picked, she can go to the next one, etc. I think she's got it all figured out. I went into the draft in season 1 with a well ordering of the 8 players and the order in which I wanted to pick them. And so just based on who was or wasn't picked, I could just go to the next player. And it's hard to know who the other people are going to pick in something like this. So, we've been on the player perspective so far all day, right? And we kick things off with Kimmy in here. But now the coaches have to do something. And the coach perspective is, you need to be able to adapt quickly to whatever picks the other people make, right? It's a question. What are the best picks to have if there's any advantage between 1st and 8th or 2nd and 7th, etc. I suspected it was possible that 1st and 8th would be like might be a small disadvantage when there's no pick at 8th. Certainly less exciting to have no pick at 8th. And that's one of the main reasons we've got more than 8 contenders in this draft tournament, even though there are only 8 spots. One reason was so that the people picking 7th and 8th still have a meaningful choice they have to make, so that part of what the coaches have to do to win Ultimate Sensei is draft smartly, not necessarily picking out the 2 strongest players, as some of them have said, but picking out the 2 players that they think are going to mesh well with them and that they have the potential and the coach student match to get a lot of improvement in this time. So I don't know if there's any advantage for 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th pick. Do people in chat think that there's like a clear advantage on one or the other of these picks? Have the coaches seen the application forms? Kostya's probably seen some of them and the others haven't. Yeah, another advantage to Kostya. I'm not going to lie about anything. Sorry. Sorry to the other 3 coaches. I meant to make it an interesting and fair competition, but, basically at Chess Dojo, we run things with the best of intentions, but like without like necessarily the greatest attention to detail every time. So like in my heart, I want things to be fair, and in practice, I usually mess something up. So yeah, I didn't think of that. Good question. Awkward. Egg on my head, but there it is. Yeah, Thorbital's saying no clear advantage one way or another in the picking. Some people think 3 or 4 is advantageous. So we shall see. We shall see if anyone comes out like thinking they got the better of this draft or not. I know that last season I felt like I already had a huge advantage after the draft, like based on the team that I got. So I don't know if I like coached any better than any of the other coaches, but like off of day 1, like I thought I had a very, very good team. So it's definitely possible that one or more coaches is going to get a stronger team than another team today. And that's what we're about to find out. So let's see if Kostya is ready with the pick that will tell all his friends exactly how he feels about them, so see if he's ready to tell Drew and Seth just exactly how much does he love them. So we're going to bring our 4 senseis back, and we're going to see how their skills of observation have matched up, how good they are at recognizing either talent or who's going to mesh with them, what's going to work well for them. We're going to find out which players are going to be paired together and are going to be buddy for the next 9 weeks. Let's get right into it. Kostya, do you have a first pick ready for us?
I do. Yes.
All right.
Okay. Well, let me just say thank you to all the players for participating and showing some fantastic fighting chess. And yeah, I think we saw some awesome stuff today. So this is probably going to be a tough draft. But okay, with the number 1 pick, I would like to select someone who started off well and then maybe lost a little bit of steam, but still very impressed me. So I would like to take Falk.
Falk. H5 did not kick him out of the competition. Falk is not only in the competition, he's in at first place. Excellent. That brings us to whoever's got the second pick.
That would be me, I believe.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretending I've got no idea what's going on, but I did know it this time. You're correct. You've got the second pick.
That person is me, David, who has got no idea what's going on. Not you. Please do not take my role.
Yeah. All right. So, who do you want?
No pressure. Look, there is this person who has been performing consistently well recently. His name is Ali Reza Firouzja. So if I could get, sorry, that's a different.
That's a good choice. That's a good choice. Ghosty didn't think of that.
for all time's sake, I'm going to grab the one and only Nagaev. But I would like to mention on that note that it was easy to overlook Falk based on his current performance, but I would like to stress that he was definitely on my radar too. So great minds think alike here with Kostya, but this time I'm going to take my old buddy Nagaev.
All right. So you're taking your old buddy, but just slipping in there that you would have rather gotten somebody else. Good way to start on the team, Coach.
Oh, no. I didn't mean that. I'm just saying that Kostya's choice is also understandable. If I could, I would take all 12 of them, as you know, David.
Of course. Yeah, I know. Buy his course on Chessable. Okay.
Oh, exactly. All of them. All of them.
Third pick to Alexandra.
I'm taking Bludger. If I pronounce it right, I hope.
Pronounce it a second time for me.
Bludger.
Okay.
Blue Jay.
Top 2 guy.
Yeah. Blue Jay. All right. Finishing with 3 out of 4. Is there any one thing you can tell us about why you're taking Blue Jay that wouldn't be too much information to tell the other coaches?
Oh, I was just watching games and I was treating like people who were not playing boring and something like this. So, so he was my top 2. So it's not because of his results or something.
Yeah. Great. Okay. So that brings us to Matt with 2 back-to-back picks. How are you feeling, Matt?
I think we can create a good team. Like there's going to be 2 even players. So as you said, it's not necessarily going to be a disadvantage not to have the winner of the team of the competition in the team. So I'm pretty optimistic. And honestly, I was kind of hoping to get a chance to pick Falk because he impressed me specifically in the first 2 rounds. But I also understand Kostya's choice in this case. So
yeah.
Unluckily, I wasn't, I didn't get the chance, but I'm still quite happy with my choices. I'm very happy with my choices. So it's going to be Bob as my first pick.
Bob.
Yeah. Bob Joe Jim, to be precise.
Let's log that. Bob is going to play for Matt.
Chess numbers.
Yeah. I was quite happy with his fighting spirit. So, and also he showed some creativity. There were 2 games which really impressed me. I think we can work a little bit on the strategy and positional feeling. So I already identified what we could work on, and I'm just I'm looking forward.
Perfect. All right, and who's going to go with Bob Joe Jim?
It's gonna be Seth.
Seth.
Yep.
Okay.
In one of the first games, I just wrote down that he played very interesting positional chess, and it must have been important for me. I don't even remember the game itself right now, but it obviously made a huge impression. No, I was following his games, and I like his style, so I think it's good. It's gonna be a good match.
All right, fantastic. Seth teams up with Bob Joe Jim to form Team Matt. And Matt, you've done it. You've got your whole team.
Yes.
Happy?
Yeah, I'm really happy.
All right.
Looking forward. And yeah, I hope the guys are going to get along with each other and with me.
Yeah.
We'll see, I guess.
We should have told you that those two hate each other, but good luck. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I know. A coach also has to be a good psychologist, so and a therapist sometimes, a bartender, and a nanny if needed.
Yeah, you can only teach so much positional chess in 9 weeks, but some therapy you can do on the floor.
Absolutely.
Alexandra, did Matt steal anybody from you, or are you able to complete your dream?
She stole my number 5, but I don't mind. I'm taking Lula now, so.
Okay. Great. So that is Lula Robs.
Yeah, girl power,
Girl power?
Girl power.
Girl power, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll be rooting for girl power. Good job. And can you tell us one thing that's not too revealing about what made you want to go for Lula?
I was just like, once again, I was just watching games and she was trying really hard, and I know she can try really hard and she cares about chess, and she just started playing recently and she's already doing really well. So I just know that she really wants it, she needs it, and she can do it.
Great. So that's Lula Robs. We have 2 spots left for 6 anxious students who want to be coached by anyone other than Andras. And it is Andras's choice right now. So
I tell you what, I really like the fact that I'm not last, because now it's going to be Kostya who will have to, make the 1 out of 5. And so the 4 will be left behind, rather sad. So my second choice is going to be, because I'm getting most of my bribes from Canada. Yeah, I'm going to stick with this lovely country. So I'm going to pick Velcro Dot.
Okay. Velcro Dot.
Ladies power.
All right. Ladies power again. Velcro Dot selected in the 7th spot by Andras Toth, International Master, Coach Andras. Excellent. The team is set. And now it's perfect that Kostya from the dojo has to say goodbye to a bunch of people. And as Andras said, it's entirely Kostya's fault that 4 people will not be in season 2. Kostya, tell us the 4 people you don't like.
I'm really sorry, everyone. Once again, just shout out to all the students.
He's not at all.
I'm really sorry to have to choose like this. But yeah, let me see the standings. All right, my rankings. Okay, with the final pick, I am going to go with our guy at chess.com, Dripman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I predicted that, but do you want to tell us why?
I thought he would do better today. I think he had a tough day, but he actually, I think he's just a strong player, and he had a great game against Falk at the end. So it makes sense that I draft the guy that beats Falk.
That's right. You can put them together. Yeah. Yeah. I was suspecting that pick because Kostya would certainly know that Falk and Dripman practice together. So there's a cohesion advantage perhaps to.
I hope they're friends. I hope there's no internal drama. I don't know.
You did it thinking that they were friends, but after today's game, it's all bad blood.
Who knows?
All right. And as it so happens, the 8 picks that the coaches have made are the players who finished in 1st through 8th place in this tournament, not in the order at all in which they finished. And that is clearly not how the coaches made their picks, but it must have been part of the factor. So the top 8 finishers in the tournament are the 8 students who will be with us throughout season 2 of Ultimate Sensei, or at least until the next intermediate competition when we kick 6 of them off and leave 2 students for the next 7 weeks. No, just kidding. You guys are in forever now. The full season. There are the teams. And that's our show for today. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Thank you, Hoki, for making it such a great show. I mean, if it was a good show, gosh, I hope it. It's like assuming, but thank you to our coaches for being here with us today. As is hopefully clear to all of you, you are welcome to come in and do some commentary during the intermediate events that we'll have every 2 weeks. And you're also free not to show up if it clashes with other elements of your schedule, tournaments, travel, recording videos, whatever it may be. So you are welcome to be our guests as much as you like during those events. We'd be happy to have you in at any point. And in the meantime, everybody in chat, you're going to want to make sure to hit a follow on these coaches, because the next step in Ultimate Sensei is some coaching. That's the crux of the show. These shows are fun that we do here on the weekends, the competition shows, but the crux of the show are these thoughtful lessons and to see the progression of the players over the course of lessons. So you're going to need to follow all these channels here so you can watch the students' lessons. All lessons throughout the season will be streamed. So you'll be able to see everything that the students are getting from these coaches. Note to all the competitors, just a reminder, you cannot watch other students or other coaches' lessons, only your coaches' lessons. Everybody else, hit the follows, watch all those lessons. And to the 12 students who played so well today, thank you for applying. Thank you for your effort today. And I sincerely hope that you all make a lot of progress over the next 2 months and enjoy your time on Ultimate Sensei Season 2. Cheers, everybody.
Thank you.
Ultimate Sensei. Some will practice the bob and weave with a little jab to the face. Others will come off the top rope and land with a bone-crushing fury. But which sensei will teach the untrained their methods the best? That is what this game is about. Each sensei will have the opportunity to watch the untrained flailings of 8 idiots. They will decide who they will coach, and then we will see which methods can be inculcated the best, which methods will prove superior. Last year, International Master David Bruce was the Ultimate Sensei. Who will win the final tournament? Who will become this year's Ultimate Sensei?